Guys, it happened again. I was out minding my own business, not bothering anybody, and I got mispigmented. I was at the Dollar Tree. I was picking up some wave caps for the 360 waves I'm growing out, and this guy behind me is like, I didn't know white guys needed those things. And I said, "Excuse me, bigot? Did you just dead skin me?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "What am I talking about? I was assigned white at birth by a doctor, but I identify as a black man." And this whole time, the cashier's just kind of standing there. And I'm like, "Are you not going to say anything to this racist?" She's like, "Sir, he's an actual black man." I said, "Actual black man? Do you understand how harmful those words are to transpigmented people like me?" And it's just like, how many black identifying white guys are going to have to suffer until people just start doing the right thing and affirming our identity? So the cashier is like, "Sir, you can either finish checking out or just leave." And I'm like, "You keep calling me sir, but I identify as a woman." And she's like, "I am so sorry, ma'am." And so I ended up getting like 50% off my order. So anyways, I'm just really frustrated. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Peace. Guys.
He got 50% off his order. Maybe he's trans-Jewish too. I don't know. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, aka Good Lawgic. Hope you are doing well. Hope things are working out for you. Hope you got over the whole Mamdani, Mikey Sherrill. We're going to talk about that. That's on the agenda for tonight. The spam burger, Mikey Sherrill, Mamdani, less so Mamdani, because I think most people are like, yeah, we knew he was going to win. And all the election debacle, where now today there's all sorts of questions about certain weird looking numbers. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Also plan on talking with you tonight about Trump's plan for the filibuster and how he is pushing hard for it, and it looks like he may succeed in getting the filibuster abolished, certainly if we can't get this federal government lockdown to end. And finally, I plan on talking about faith and the rise of religion in political conversation, where it seems as if it's been really resurrected and taking much more of a prominent role, religion in general, whether you're talking Muslim, Jewish, or Christian. All three religions seem to be making a comeback, and I'm going to talk to you about why it is. Why I believe that is probably going to end up having some sort of different type of religious conversation with this guy right here, who is, as you all know, it came up last week. And he's like, "Joe, I got to sit you down and have a conversation with you about Jesus."
Wait.
And I was like, I didn't bring you in my show here to start trying to missionize me, but yeah, it's really less a matter of a conversation about religion or trying to convince you or vice versa, but about the notion as to why it is that religion seems to be being resurrected in politics. It used to play a very big role in politics.
Yeah.
It stopped that for many decades, certainly like since the 50s, since the 60s. I don't think that religion has had as prominent a feature as it has today. So I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to have conversations with you about your thoughts and mine as to why it is that that's happened. So that's what's on the agenda for today. I did not put a goal up, which is shame on me for not doing that. I don't know. I didn't come up with I was thinking maybe a call-in, because I think people will want to talk about religion and politics.
Yeah, we tried to do that last week, but I don't, man, the topic sort of flip-flop. But hey, chat, how's it going? It's good to see you, and we're gonna proselytize Joe tonight, I guess.
No, you're not. No, you're not. That's
the conversation. You're going to make
happen.
me stretch my brain tonight, so I appreciate it. I'm glad I ingested caffeine right before the show, so that's
yes, good. Yeah. No, I definitely like seeing a smarter sin. So
Good luck.
we're gonna look for you. We're gonna look for you to bring out your best tonight.
Yeah,
And
we'll
I have
try.
confidence. I have
I hope
confidence
so.
that good things will happen here.
Appreciate that.
Anyway, the first topic we should talk about, probably, I guess, is the questions about. I want to sort of put to bed the whole election thing. I kind of want to end. I kind of want to end it. So, no, let's just cover that topic real fast, and then
Yeah.
and then we'll be able to move on to other topics which are more interesting to me, only because no matter what issues there were or potential issues were with the election, I have very, very little hope that anything positive will come out of the it just feels like there's going to be complaining, and perhaps very justifiably so. And it's not, the complaining is not going to have any impact. Like I'm very, very skeptical that it's going to have.
It never does, Joe. You know that.
Yeah, no. So like that's why I'm very, very skeptical that it's gonna do anything. But people wants to know. So this is so let's just share so people are more in the know. And we'll start with Mike Crispy. Mike Crispy is I'll call him politics adjacent person from New Jersey. He thought about running for governor. Here he calls himself MAGA. Some folks are like, don't really question whether he's more of a grifter than an actual MAGA type.
I think a lot of them are, man. But okay, all right. Let's see what
I'm not going to throw shade at Mike Crispy, but I'm not going to preach on his behalf either. I'm very neutral on Mike Crispy. I've spoken with him once or twice.
How'd you feel about him personally?
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
You really didn't. You couldn't get a read on him whether it felt more like he was.
He plays
MAGA or
he plays assuming he's either MAGA or he's very good at being a grifter.
Got you.
So I that's why, like I said, I'm not looking to throw shade at him. Certainly I'll tell you that he's much better than Mikey, who we got. You know, that I would have far preferred him.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chitterelli now has lost this bid for governorship twice. I think it's probably time that we look to someone else.
Sure.
Not that I have any particular problems with Chitterelli, but I think it's probably time that we're like,
it's just not going to work.
If you're 0 for 2 for one reason or another, yeah. Maybe it's God doesn't want you to be governor. I don't know what it is, but it's like something's here is not working.
I mean, doesn't the Bible say that the leaders are ordained by God? So,
oh yeah, that I believe the
yeah, 100%. Well, for good or bad, because God tried to tell your people, it's like, hey man,
yeah,
ruler, but y'all decided.
No, it's 100.
Y'all chose for the rest of us, by the way.
Although there are times, there's a concept, a fox in his day, and like that sometimes it's just not the right time for you. So maybe that's what Chitterelli defenders would say. They'd be like,
"There's a season for everything" type scenario.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
and they would say that 2021 and 2025 wasn't his season, but 29 is. So
sure,
who knows? Sure. Anyway, we got a long time to worry about that. Mike Crispy says the urban vote for Mikey Sherrill was historically high, bizarrely high. How many illegals voted? How much illegal ballot harvesting occurred? Bill Spadilla, he ran against Chitterelli in the Republican primary. Bill Spadilla's campaign chief worked with Democrats to pay for all of this, by the way. Their names, No Cross, Junes, Gilmore. I think he got into a big fight with Bill Spadilla. I think so. This is part of where I'm like, there's all this alliances in New Jersey politics, which you would think that me being someone who's so into politics and residing in New Jersey that I would be up on all this drama, and I am.
That's what I was waiting for tonight. That's why I made this avatar just for tonight, and I was like, oh, here we go.
I love New York.
It's a hellscape behind him, by the way. It's Times Square in flames.
Oh, I get it. I like it. Yeah. I like it. Nicely done. Yeah. So you would think that it would be something, but I don't know. I don't have time. I don't have time or interest. I don't have time or interest in like the baby drama between these different political bigwigs where they're sort of. I feel like they're all elbowing for acclaim.
Well, they are.
So, and that's why I'm just like, it's a very big turnoff to me, and that's one of the reasons that's one of my problems I have with Spadilla, and I've seen Chitterelli engage in it. That's the problem. That's the problem I have with all three: Chitterelli, Crispy, and Spadilla. I just feel as if there's this constant, just hair pulling that they do. That
But
just
that's all they
bothers
do
me.
when it's in the smaller rungs of the lower rungs of politics. They're all fighting.
They're
for the
the
same
upper
something.
echelon of New Jersey GOP politics. These are like
Yeah, but it's still New Jersey's a grander stage than, let's say, my state, Alabama. Nobody cares, right? But on the same level, it's not it's not a national race
no
or
one
anything.
cares about
So,
Alabama.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Everyone's like, is that the one on the
You
left?
didn't have
On
to
the
say
right?
it that way.
Is that on the
Okay.
left? Is that on the right?
Yeah, I got you. I
Is that
appreciate
the one
it. Yeah,
that's hanging over
you could have just
Florida?
made the
Over
comment and moved
Louisiana?
on.
I don't
Go
even
ahead.
know.
I'm gonna let you get it out of your system.
Is it
tonight.
hanging? It's hanging over. It's
I think
hanging over Texas.
the first
I
show
don't
we
even-
did together, you literally asked me, "Wait, where is Alabama?"
I know. I did not ask you that.
I'm pretty positive you asked me.
I
that.
even know Montgomery is your capital.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Now, Brankin says, wonder if Joe's aware the breadth of Christian faith currently popular range from fall Christian Las Vegas brothel to genuine adherents. Oh, I'm sure that. I have no doubt. That there's a wide berth.
There's a wave of what I like to call cultural Christians in the United States.
It's like that in every religion.
They wear the uniform, you know what I mean? They say the right things. They get the right haircut, but they don't live or believe any of it. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's like that with all religions. I'm sure. I mean, I've seen that with Jews, and I'm sure it's like that with Muslims. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
You see some Muslims who walk out in the burqas and they'll literally beat their wives if they don't wear a burqa, and others who are more like Ilhan Omar, and then there are others who basically are just like, yeah, pass the bacon. So
true.
There's all stripes. Good Lawgic, my friend. You live close enough to New York City. Can you hear the Soviet anthem being blasted across the river? I wish they would play the Soviet anthem. It would be far more bass than whatever crap we're going to get from Mamdani.
Yeah.
I mean, you think who's more bass, Mamdani or Putin?
Oh, Putin.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
All day, every day. I would live in Russia. I really would. I think I would. So, but New York, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. The only difference between Mamdani and Spanberger is one is a commie, the other is too stupid to realize she's a commie. Phil always drops the insight. He always does. Phil, if you ever need a show here, I'm looking for someone who can sort of co-host on Wednesdays. So
thanks, Phil.
I would have offered Branka, but I can't afford him. Not that he's never charged me a penny for coming on here. He's awesome. He's just, I think it's because
I just keep
actual
sending
friend.
you bills, and for some reason they just haven't been paid yet. I'm about to take you to collections.
Andrew's an actual friend. He's someone who I really like. Okay. Well, Leslie, right. The Milli Vanilli of
well, wait, hold on. What did you say it that way for?
What?
Andrew's an actual friend I really like. When we were talking about me for a second. Wait a minute. I thought you and I were friends.
We weren't talking about you. We weren't. Why is everything always about you? You're going to talk to Sin on religions. Yes. There you go, Wellesley. That's the plan. Jesus gave us bacon. Think about it. Yeah, he also gave you rats.
Yeah, but does the Bible say not to eat rats?
Oh no, I'm saying why don't you guys eat rat?
Dude, you've never had bacon though, right?
No, never. Ever. Not once. Not pork, not bacon, not ham, nothing.
The other pork products are very subpar. But I'm telling you, bacon is mind-blowing sometimes. I've
had Bacos, which is a vegetarian type of thing.
No.
Like Bacon bits kind of thing.
The closest thing you can get is in high-end turkey bacon. That's about as close as you could get to
I might have had something like that.
Yeah.
I might have had something like that once. I don't remember.
I'm just saying that if I was a member of the tribe,
that's the direction you would go.
Yeah, and they were like,
Mhm.
You can stay a member of the tribe and get into heaven, or you can have bacon sandwiches. I would probably eat bacon sandwiches.
We're not even up to the religion part, and everyone's jumping the gun on me on there.
I'm
All
just telling you, bacon's
That's why I was
free.
like a call in. Should I do a call? I'm going to do a call in
Do a call in.
I'll do a call in if
gonna
we
be great.
hit our goal. I'm going to
It's
set. I'm
gonna be a
going to set a
wonderful
goal.
disaster.
That's what I'm going to do because I think people are going to want to talk to me about the whole religion and politics thing. Because I got some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on why it is that this is.
I barely know how to
now.
think, so
Yeah,
this will be great.
you're just going to be sitting there trying to sell me about Jesus.
I'm not gonna try to witness to you. Don't you worry about it.
You're gonna be like one of those Seventh-day Adventists. You're gonna be sending me like flower. You're gonna be like those like some Mooney coming to me with a flower in an airport.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Moonies. Man, we could talk about those guys one day.
I had a Mooney once. I once had a 45-minute conversation with a Mooney in a supermarket.
Mm-hmm. Canadian bacon, yum. No, Canadian bacon's not that great. Regular bacon, just get up. I'm telling you, people, chat. Get up, cook you about 3 or 4 slices of bacon, have some croissants, and just put that bacon on a warm croissant. It's heaven on earth. It's mind blowing how good it is. It's so good, and Joe is missing out. That's why Joe is always.
I don't feel like
angry.
I'm missing out. I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. Like not even like
That's why Joe is always so angry.
Yeah,
What's up,
seriously, it's almost like if you said to me, "Oh yeah, man, you have no idea how good slugs taste." That's how much interest I have in eating pig.
Wow, really? You're really?
It's really not at all. Yeah, really, like it's like not even something like it's not like I think like, "Oh man, I wish." No, I don't want to eat slugs, and I don't have any interest in eating bacon, pork.
I get it.
Chittarelli received 122,000 more total votes than he got in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
He got more votes than Murphy. That's the one who's outgoing now. The jackass who made sure that we had no plastic bags anymore because he
Wait, y'all got nothing but paper bags now?
No. They sell us.
No.
That I have to bring my bag with me to a supermarket.
You got to bring the reusable bags like shopping at Aldi or Sam's Club.
Yes, so I got to pay $1.50. And then when they try getting rid of these, they say these are the least climate-friendly bags imaginable. Like a million, like one of these bags is like 40,000 of the other bags as far as its as ability to decompose. Like they're like, it's a much worse climate change problem we have now because of his bags. Is he going to undo it? No, of course not. This is his great plan that Murphy brought. So now everyone's miserable and we're harming the environment.
So what do you do if you leave your bags? You just buy more there for $1.50.
That's the thing, yeah. So you got another. You pay another. I can't.
So
you got to
unload your car, put up all your groceries, and then go walk the bags back out to the car just so you don't forget them. That's what I would have to do.
No, what I have to do, what I do is when I'm going shopping, me personally going shopping. I can't speak for Lady Logic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But
I wouldn't let you anyway. So go ahead.
I appreciate you standing up for her valor that way. So when I go shopping, which is usually like once a week, I'll pick up like the beverages, right?
Got you. Yeah.
This is my contribution. Well, I shop for Shabbos. Like I'll buy I'll go to like a local kosher place and and there's not a bag problem. But when I go to ShopRite, so I'll go to ShopRite like every Friday. And I'll get like bottles of water and soda and things of that nature. Right?
Yeah.
So and I'll basically load up for the week's worth of beverages that we need. So obviously you need bags there, right? I mean, you're not going to walk around with like 14. So I'm usually buying. I'm Jewish, so I'm going to see what's on which. I get angry. I don't know
what are you doing.
So I get. So I'm gonna basically buy whatever quantity like units that ShopRite's giving me. They're special. Not that $2 for a bottle of soda is special, which is insane. Because I remember like when I finally
back in my day.
For me,
is that what you're about to do?
Yes, back in my day, $1 was the top I would ever pay for a bottle of soda, and now it's like I'm scrounging around trying to find some special where I can get like 4 for $9 or something, and it makes me sick to my stomach. But otherwise, it's like $3.50 a bottle, and
that's nonsense.
That's
That is nonsense. That's why I don't drink.
it's
I guess you
crazy.
call them soda or pop or whatever. We just call them all Coke down here.
Yeah,
So
don't tell me about your stupid pop. It's soda. So
I call it Coke. We don't call it pop. We call it Coke down here.
so you call Mountain Dew Coke. That must get
Yes.
very confusing when you're trying to
Yes.
order in a restaurant.
No. Like when we're ordering at a restaurant, we say whatever flavor of Coke we want, but it's all Cokes.
Oh, can I get a Mountain Dew Coke? Is what you're saying?
No. It's like, so if you go into, say, my mother's house and I'm like, hey, you got something to drink? She goes, yeah, we got some Cokes in the fridge, and then we have bottled water. And then you go in there and you pick out whatever flavor you want.
Okay. So
Did that hurt you?
I just don't understand. Why wouldn't you just say that what you're asking for, as opposed to just Coke is not
It's
a
just what we
word?
do. I don't ask me. Ask the Southern tradition of.
So the
I
bottom
don't know
line is we
how
get the
long.
bags. So now those bags, what I can say about these bags that's positive is that you can fit. It fits neatly six a 6-pack of those 2-liter bottles. Okay. So since I have to buy in quantities in units of like whatever, so I usually get like 3 bags, and if it's like I have a maximum of buy 4, and it's like this special cap of like 4 of those. So I'll end up buying like 16 bottles of that, a couple bottles of water. So I need like 3 or 4 of these bags.
Yeah.
So I just end up like when I would take the bag, put it in the cart, and then take the soda and load it straight into the bag.
Yeah.
This way I don't have to like load it up, throw it into the thing, and then throw it up twice.
And then
And if you get a bad teller, they're like, no, you can't leave it in the bag. I'm like, why not?
Ooh.
What's going to happen? Like, no, you have to take it out of the bag so I can scan it and then put it back in the bag. And I'm like, this doesn't. I've gotten into fights over this.
There's no self check out there. You can just get the gun and do it yourself.
The self checkout is a maximum of 15. And then there's the age old question. If I have 16, or it's really 20, because I'll end up getting some waters also, so it's like 20, but it's like 16 of them are all the same. Is that now something that's like 15 items or less or not? This is a question of moral ethics here, which I should put as a poll. This is something I want to get.
You're now
the
doing
public.
moral ethics on this. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna ask. Okay.
I'm more concerned about you buying nothing but 2 liters. They get so flat so fast. Why are you not buying like a?
I'll finish off in 2 days. I'll finish off in 2 days.
I'm more of a bottle can person, single use type guy.
Like
I drink nothing but
you live in a
bottled
trailer,
water.
and in the corner of your house, there's a whole pile of the empty cans. I got it.
Empty, yeah, you get it. Empty whiskey bottles and cans. Get the hell out of here.
I need to leave cans all over the place here.
I drink nothing but bottled
Canned
water
soda
and
tastes like garbage.
Energy drinks. So I don't drink soda, Coke, whatever you want to call it.
Cans make. I feel like my mic is fading in and out of me. Cans make.
You sound beautiful.
Cans make beverages taste awful.
I agree with that. Yeah, they do taste different whether you put them in like a glass cup or you're drinking them out of a can or a plastic cup. I agree with that. But I don't drink Cokes or sodas or whatever. I drink water and energy drinks and whiskey. So
okay.
I do drink sweet tea when my mom makes it, unless I go to and buy a gallon of Milos every once in a while.
All right. So I'm going to say if you have 10 of item A plus 10 other random items, does that qualify as 15 items? This is something I've always wondered what the world thinks on this, more or less. You have 10 of item A plus 10 other random objects. So it's like you count that item A as 1, or you count them maybe as a few. So we count that as 15 items or yes. I'm not giving you any options. This is a yes or no. Yes.
Have you ever worked not customer service, but in a place like that, grocery store, anything like that, as a cash register or cashier?
I worked as a stock boy for 3 hours.
Okay, but so you never ran a register before. Okay.
No, I never did. Why?
I mean, as a guy who I got my start doing retail and then managed retail for a little while, I know the exact answer of this. So
I'm having a self-checkout.
You're having a self checkout.
No, I'm just gonna leave it as this. I'll add a third option if it's self checkout. Yes.
Ooh, self checkout's actually going to change that answer for me. But the limit on self checkout is crazy. They don't do that anywhere.
It's a self checkout express.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because now it's like I'm the one who's doing it, but I'm holding people up because, you know.
I mean, not really.
All right.
Because you're gonna have to.
I'm checking over it. I'm checking over it in the ghetto. You Romo folk, I'm looking over what you're saying. Do you think yes or no? Just let me know there whether you think that's.
Yeah, they do count how many UPCs, but here's the thing though: when you're running a cash register, you can just hit quantity 15 or 10 or whatever, and then scan one item. Boop.
Right.
That's one item.
Right.
Now, if you're doing it self-checkout, you don't have that option. It just depends on what store you're in. But also, you're not loading up all of those onto the register. You just got one bottle of Coke, and you're going boop, 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 15 times, 10 times, whatever. So you're not slowing anyone up.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's nonsense. I think it's crazy. Matter of fact, that's what I would start a riot over if I were you. You know, we talk about politics and very important things that are going on, but this is the hill I think Joe Neerman was meant to die on.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Are we sure?
Minor inconveniences like this. I'm not. Maybe when I'm an old man and if I get cantankerous enough, I'll be like that.
You'll start protesting outside the shop, right?
Yeah. Give me back my bags. But no, this is not a hill I'm going to die on. I will just grouse to my audience about it and sometimes and get snarky with a teller who makes me take it out of my bag.
You really get snarky with people, right? Like,
only if they're being like ridiculous. Because some of them what I've taken to doing is I'll scrunch down the bag so they can see there's nothing else there, but I'm not taking it out of the bag.
Got you. Yeah.
So this way, I can understand they're afraid I'm going to basically take some deodorant or some other smaller items and throw them in there and hide them among the stuff, and they want to make sure I'm not doing that. So I can understand that. So I'll scrunch down, but I'm not lifting 6 bottles out just so I can put them back in so you can count. I'm like, this is stupid. What is your answer on this 15 items or less poll that I have?
Oh, I answered. I agreed with you. I don't think it's 15 items. Or I do think it's. Yes, it's fine. That's what I answered. Anybody that says no burn in hell is crazy.
Okay. All right. Well, most of my audience, according to you, I meant to write only, but somehow it came as oh my. I'm not sure. But they're saying.
Ooh, yeah, this poll is really off, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of them are saying really no burn in hell.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
The chat's turning against me. I'm a man of the chat.
You're a man of the chat.
I can't change my answer. Damn it. No, I'll be honest. I think it's fine. I really, really do. I know that used to at Walmart self-checkout, somebody had said in the chat that you have to take them out and put them on the scanner. Used to at Walmart you did because it had to like weigh the item before you could scan it. So it would it knew what items weighed what. Now you don't.
Oh my God, that's the annoying thing about self-checkout is they make me put it on the thing so they can measure the weight. And now and put it and I can't skip bagging. And I have it already put in my bags. So it's like then I have to put it down there. And then when I scan it, and then they're like, and then they say something, it's an error, call the register help, and they gotta swipe their card up there. And I'm just like, this is like a whole thing now, and it's all because of the bags. It's all because of the bags.
It's
because otherwise I would just be taking. Yeah, it's Phil Murphy's fault. That's what it is.
Damn it, Phil.
Yeah, it's all Phil.
All roads lead to Phil.
I'm telling you right now, he will burn in hell, and part of that. Most of it will likely be for killing thousands of elderly New Jersey.
Most of it, but he is going to have a very huge.
But I do imagine that Satan's going to have an extra couple of kicks in the gut with some spiked boots for the bags, just for the bags. I'm just saying. I don't disagree.
If you ask me,
if you ask me, A lot more for murdering countless old people. Like a lot more. Now, I don't want anyone to think I'm equating the two.
Yeah,
But an
I get
extra
it.
couple of like, and the bags.
Mm.
You
And the
know,
bags at the very end of it.
yes,
That
yes,
wasn't even my choice. I was bullied into it.
yes. Yeah. No, that's the way it should be. Anyway,
I
let's
agree with you.
let me catch up on some of these chats here.
Mhm.
Lone Gunman says, I remember last year watching Trump win on on this channel with you. Amazing what can happen in a year. I'm sure Viva can help you find a place in Florida.
Are you
I've
really
thought a
thinking about
lot of
going to Florida?
I've thought a lot about Florida.
You should, honestly. When
I'm
you can.
like, I'm basically,
Florida's beautiful, man.
I've thought a lot about Florida.
I would like to offer the virtues of Alabama
Yeah, that's not
because it's very close to Florida,
okay.
but
I would need to find the right community in Florida, and I don't know
Uh-huh.
that such a thing exists.
what
So
sort of community?
I can't even begin to explain it to you.
Well, I
I
mean,
could try. I could try.
I am a real estate agent. I could try to help you find these communities. I just would need to. You need to send me a list one day, and we'll go through it.
No, I couldn't. I don't know if I could. There's so first of all, if you're a practicing Orthodox Jew, you have to live with other Jews because you're praying like 3
Yes.
times a day, and you need to
Yeah.
be praying with 10 other men.
Got you.
Okay, and I'm when I go to my synagogue, I'm praying. You know, on a typical day, there are several dozen there,
Uh-huh.
and there'll be multiple times that you can show up, and there's a different cultural vibe in community A versus B versus
Mhm.
C versus D, and I'm talking even amongst American Orthodox Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where an Orthodox Jew from Brooklyn, you won't know it until you're there, unless you're a practicing person. You wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that A is superior to B or B is
It's just
superior
different.
to C. It's just
Yeah.
different.
Because
The
I was
same
going to
way.
ask you, like, how different are you and Viva in y'all's practicing? Because he
Oh,
would
we're not even like the same. It's like
not in the same ballpark.
nothing remotely close.
Okay.
No, nothing remotely close. I'm very
Gotcha.
similar to Ron Coleman.
Oh, okay.
I pray
Yeah.
in the same synagogue as Ron Coleman.
Oh, that's a very good example then, because I've
Right.
watched Ron. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very similar to Ron Coleman. But what I'm saying is, even amongst there's like in Brooklyn, there are several different Jewish communities,
Mhm.
and there's a different flavor from one community to another within Brooklyn. That's why I'm saying finding someone that's a
Okay.
flavor that feels right for you. Some of the flavor even might change from block to block when you're talking about it in Brooklyn. Okay,
Really?
literally, yeah. It's that.
It's that meta.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. It's and that's why I would need to be like almost going with people that I sort of almost know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That I'm like, okay, this is my kind of crowd. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
that's
get
why
it.
that's why finding that in another state, I'm very, very comfortable with my own community that I have here now. I really appreciate the ambiance and the people that I have here,
Mhm.
and the level of seriousness they have about their religion. At the same
Gotcha.
time, and the just the on not just on like almost like an not just connecting to God, but how they deal with other people. It's a very
Mhm.
hard thing for I couldn't begin to explain. That's why I said I couldn't begin to explain it to you,
Yeah.
because you almost
It's
need to
more
be an
of a
Orthodox
personal
Jew.
level.
You need to be an Orthodox Jew to understand the distinctions.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
so that's why I couldn't explain it to you and my audience. And that's why I'm saying I think it'd be hard for me to find something like that, and where I
You need to
know that
find a
I'm going.
Jewish realtor in Florida.
Yeah, I need to find like an Orthodox Jewish realtor who could
Yeah.
tell me like this crowd versus that crowd versus that crowd.
I'll reach
So-
out to some of my contacts. See what I can do. Get you in touch
All
with
right.
some folks.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate
welcome.
that. I remember last year watching Trump. Well, we got this. Beef bacon is really good. Okay, I've never. I don't know. Is that made out of meat? Beef bacon?
It's made out of beef.
cow?
Yeah, it's
made out of cow?
beef. It's made out of cow. Yeah.
Mm.
Beef bacon is good.
So that sounds like something I would try, and I'm
Yeah.
sure I could probably find that here. I remember the first I walked into a Jewish deli and I instantly understood why you are penny pinchers. You guys are paying $20+ a pound for kosher meats. Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. On my tuna that I buy every week, the cheaper one is $16 a pound. The more
Good
expensive,
night. What?
the more expensive one is $23 a pound.
For a tuna sandwich?
No. I'm talking about like I'll get a tuna steak and I'll sort of prep it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got you.
And that's but fish is relatively, I think, similarly priced because you don't have to go through the whole butchering process. You don't have to slaughter it the way you do a cow and have the oversight. It's much less of a markup difference compared to meat, where you have a lot more built into it.
Yeah.
Count how many UPC. This is his answer on whether or not this is actually a thing. So what do you think it is? You think it's totally fine to do that?
I do, yeah. I think it's perfectly fine because it's I think back in the day when you had the express aisles, when you had no self-checkout, right? And they said 15 items and the poor girl was up there, scanning everything, and they didn't have the guns, right? They just had to run it past the register or type in the UPC. That's a little different. Modern day, where you just take the gun and you have one can of soda in front of you and you just click it 15 times, I say that's basically one item. The marginal difference in time is nothing.
I agree with you. I think that makes sense. If you can click and then hit 15, that makes it count as one. If you have to hit it 15 times, if you have to hit that item A, 10, 15 times, that makes it 10 items. I think that's the right call.
In modern society, that's one item now. Sorry. And them's the rules.
Yeah, but in my express lane, they make me click each bottle of soda separately. So that's why I have
so then
problem.
That changes the rules then. Yeah.
Yeah. Case of 24 Cokes, one item, 24 cans of Coke is different. I think he's got the right level there. I think that's the appropriate. I think that's the right answer. Yeah. I think Joe has the right answer. Although, they're telling me here no burn in hell. So you guys can say 200 tissues.
Jesus, man. Holy
200 tissues, that can't be expressed. You got 200 items there. So it's one box.
I can't change my answer now. I'm no longer a man of the chat. What have I done to myself?
The chat has turned on sin. All right, let's get back and finish up this politics section here.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So Chittarelli received 122,000 more total votes than he got in 2021. He got more votes than Murphy received when he won re-election. Cheryl got 450,000 more votes than Murphy got 4 years ago. How is this even possible? No one knows who the hell she is. Like, there's nothing inspiring about her. The inner city historic turnout for an uninspiring candidate like Mikey is quite an anomaly. How? That's what Crispy is asking. I think he's asking the right question there. And then we also have, I think the way to do this is just to import it this way. Polka Dot saying, I'm sorry, but something isn't right here. Did 500,000 more people vote in this election? And if you look at this, Phil Murphy got 1.3 million, and Jack Chittarelli got 1.25, and all of a sudden, there's an extra. And so Chittarelli got 1.3 million this time, 1.378, and she almost got 1.8.
Jesus, where did all these voters come from?
That's the question.
How'd they get activated? What did they do differently to activate these guys?
3,189,000 people voted as opposed to 2.5. That doesn't happen normal. That doesn't make any sense.
That's definitely not a normal percentage to raise overnight like that. So,
and the question is how assuming that they were cheating, like how did they do it? That's always the riddle. Like what did they do to get that, And here's another look just with for those people who like pie charts, or I think it's actually the bar graphs. This is a bar graph thing. That's what they call this. I grok generate this table.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's a bar graph, right?
Yeah, it's a bar graph.
All right. No, what makes it so astonishing is we got the same number of people living here.
Yeah, so those people were already there, but how did they, quote unquote, activate these voters to get out where they didn't last time?
Yeah. How did this happen? Like, it doesn't make any sense. When we had 7.5 million people here back in 1985, there was only 1.7 million. There's 1.9 million votes, so like just almost 2 million votes.
Jesus.
Now, which is basically, this is less than this is, and then we would go from having 9.27 million to 9.3 million. So we have 9,300,000 instead of 9,270,000. Like that's an extra 30,000 people, and there's an extra
So do we think
500,000.
these are
There's an extra
illegal?
500. Well, I don't know what it is. There's an extra 30,000 people and an extra 500,000 votes. Like that's
The population has stayed the same, basically. And they, I mean, what was the campaign promises? They promised something different, or are we just thinking it's flat fraud? Your opinion.
I don't really follow campaigns. I was like,
This is so.
what do you do for a living,
What are
Joe?
you doing, Joe?
What do you do? It's your own state.
Quality
It's your
content.
own state.
Your own state, your own type of show, and
Your
you
own
just like
state. The whole pitch is basically stop Trump. That's basically what it is. That Trump is evil.
There's
That's
no
what the
way
whole.
Stop Trump activated that many people, though, Joe.
Well, that's. I mean,
Especially
apparently,
with the MAGA being so much more free now, right? Like people aren't getting their heads knocked off for wearing a MAGA hat anymore.
I don't understand it. Like, I just don't. I don't get it. I don't. Because it's not like everyone is saying. Every report from even CNN is how what Trump is doing is actually popular. That 53%, support his removal of illegals. For all the whining we hear online from the idiots on the left, like that, it's actually polls as being very popular. So
yeah,
it's
even
hard,
with immigrants,
it's hard to really understand how this is legit.
So this is either flat fraud or it's illegals that have been activated so they could do something to stop Trump. One of the two.
I don't know how illegals are getting in to vote. So, like, on a mass basis.
I mean, either way, it's fraud, but you get what I mean. It's either some sort of mail-in thing or it's, illegals who have been issued social security cards for benefits purposes going and voting.
It's very difficult to understand. And it's not just in New Jersey that we have this issue. It's also there are also questions about the Virginia race, where
really? I didn't see this one.
Last night there were 125,000 early mail-in votes for Democratic governor candidate Spanberger. This morning there were over 300,000 early mail-in votes for her.
And take a look at doing this.
And take a look at the Virginia Attorney General race, Miyares versus Jones for AG. Now, Jones, in case you haven't been following the news, he's the one who it was, even Democrats were struggling to defend the guy after he was exposed that he made
the comments that he made.
He made the completely horrific comments he made about wishing death upon the wife and children of his political enemies. I mean, like monstrous lunacy. Yeah. Like the guy's a freaking lunatic, and he's the attorney. He's now the Attorney General. So take a look at Virginia Attorney General race. Miyares, Republican versus Jones for AG in Virginia. Republican Miyares lost right at the time inside the green box. This is in a span just like all of a sudden at 7:40 at 7:37. Boom. Boom.
Look at that.
Like how does that happen?
We're just going to continue to let this happen in our elections. This
is something that I think if I was Trump, I would really be looking into this, and I would want Pam Bondi looking into this. This looks like real fraud. This is a graph that says fraud. The numbers,
I agree,
and the numbers in the Jersey race make me say, "What the hell is happening?" And I'd look to see, what happened on the Spanberger versus Winsome Sears race at the same time. Because it doesn't make any sense. This doesn't happen. This is the most inorganic thing in the world. How does it possibly? Now that maybe they'll say there was some dump of ballots that were counted or something, but I don't know. It looks pretty bad. It definitely looks pretty bad. I got a little more on Virginia here. So
Hell yeah.
how did 175,000 votes for Spanberger suddenly show up this morning? Because America's elections, well, this is according to Emerald. Who's Emerald Robinson? 880
Again, you're
savage.
professional.
She's the savage queen. You ever heard of Emerald Robinson before?
Not at all. I don't even.
Well,
I've
she's
never
got
even seen it.
880,000 followers.
Does that mean anything nowadays?
She's on Real Lindell TV, so I guess she's friends with
there
Mike
we go.
Lindell.
Yeah, Mike Lindell stuff. There we go. That makes sense then.
It makes sense that people are checking what she's saying about elections, because Lindell was all about the 2020 election. So, and finally, I got this report here for you. This is Barris. Rich Barris, right?
Yes.
All right. So this is a clip from his show where he's talking about just how bad this race was. It's much worse than we even imagine. Everyone knows the big name things, but he's saying the delegates, the assemblymen, all the different legislative elections, it was a ridiculous levels of sweep everywhere. Like anywhere there was anything remotely contested, Democrats won in these state elections.
Look, Paul Mildy wrecked Virginia 64. Oh my God, unbelievable! That's a huge upset. Bobby Orrick, another huge upset in Virginia 66. I mean, Democrats flipped in Virginia. Democrats flipped basically every House of Delegates seat that is like mathematically possible to flip. Some of them were not thought possible in the sense of, no, this is what kind of district it is, and it's super red and it's competitive. Never. This was not the excuses. The excuses, if you believe them, you're just wrong, but it's also kind of stupid to just believe them at this point.
This guy, he's not, he's, do you know who Rich Barris is?
Yeah, the People's Pundit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like him. He's
very good.
I think I'm sort of like 75-25 on it. Like he's really good, but also, he loses me every once in a while. That's just, I can't quite explain it.
Be more specific. With what?
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't quite explain it. Like he gets a little too lost in the weeds for me on some of his stuff. So.
Oh, in other words, like his breakdowns are like a little bit too hyper detailed,
hyper focused. You know what I mean? On like things. I like watching him. Like on election night, I watched him. I would flip back from him to a couple other people.
Right.
But yeah, he does get a little too hyper focused on things that I don't think quite matter, that really move the needle for me or for anybody else. But no, I do love him. I think he does a great job. So
yeah, he does, and he throws out names of politicians who I never heard of, you never heard of.
Yeah, for sure.
And he'll just sort of, but he happens to be really good at what he does.
He knows his stuff. I give him that.
Yeah, and he's based. He testified. See, I don't know if you know this. He testified in Colorado. Oh wait, was in Colorado?
Did he really?
I think like on one of the. I think I remember watching him testify in Colorado. When was it in Colorado or was it one of no, sorry, he testified, my apologies. He testified in it wasn't whether he can be on the ballot. That was not where he testified. No, he testified about the election fraud that was happening in Arizona when they had a hearing there. And he went out there as the expert testifying about some of the bizarre statistics that came out, which were so statistically anomalous that it's beyond
and he would know too, for sure. It was like I said,
that's beyond reason to believe that this is organic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's great.
So, again, is the damage to Pennsylvania as bad as it is to Virginia? Yeah, it is. It is. Long-term damage was done last night to the Republican Party in these states. Long-term damage. To the point now where the people who are state government officials, local government officials, they don't even know where to start. Things will be so difficult because of the breadth of this defeat. It's, so, I mean, look, it's the nature of people to want to look for the positive in things and to like they want people to pat themselves on the top of the head and say good job, or pat themselves on the butt and say don't worry Mikey, it's going to be okay. It's not. This was a huge defeat. You know what we have, Paul? I don't care what
Huge.
the picture looks like. I just
Yeah. So he paints a very dire picture there. And
Yeah, he really does. He does that a lot too, though. That's another thing.
he can be very doom oriented.
Yeah, very black pilled on some of his stuff. But he's really good. And
Yeah.
I do like how nuanced he gets, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if that does a whole lot. But he knows his stuff. I think he's predicted a lot of elections.
No, he's
pretty
well. He's good. He's very, very good at what he does. He's very good at what he does.
So do you think this does have the long lasting effects on the Conservative Party, like he says, to the point where it's, he comes off like it's not repairable?
When I was listening to him talk, I was thinking, part of what MAGA is continually focusing on is the ceding more strength to local governance over federal governance.
That's what we need to do.
Right, but that's what we need to do. But if they're stealing elections and local governance,
because nobody pays attention to local governance, Joe, who is a prime example sitting beside me on this show. That's where it starts, and that's where the biggest thing. That's where it will affect you most.
To the extent that we're successful in that, it's almost like we're giving them more power.
We are giving them more power, and to the extent that you now can't get disposable plastic bags because your local governance, you need to pay attention more, I think.
And I can make jokes about that. At the end of the day, the reality is that's not really a very serious problem. But
no, but you get what I'm saying, though. Like these people on your local level affect your day-to-day life a lot more than the federal level.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like the bags, it's a nice. It draws a diagram. It calls attention to like one particular issue that it's just like, but that's like one of like.
It's an annoyance, but it's not a.
It's an
life
annoyance.
ender.
It's one of several dozens of issues, right?
Yes.
It's chipping away at our humanity into molding us what they want us to be.
Yep.
Kimmy says, so to explain it to a Baptist, finding the right community for an Orthodox Jew is like finding the right church. You have to visit the services a few times, see if you fit in or uncomfortable. Yeah. I think that's probably the best.
I do the same thing. Yeah.
And when it's such a pivotal and an essential part of your life, like it's something that like now I have to go traveling from Jersey to Florida to a few different communities and try to see which one like feels right. You know what I'm saying? Like it will take work to do it. That doesn't mean it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do the same thing when I moved to South Alabama like 10 years ago, I think it is now. But I just went from different church to visit different services. I didn't have, being a Baptist isn't as rigorous and strict as being a Jew. So
right. And the other element is, as bad as New Jersey is under Murphy and now Mikey Sherrill, it's not what New York City is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that level of bad. It's not chaos in the streets.
But it's getting there, man, and it's creeping.
Yeah, but it's I'm sort of like in this suburban area. It's not like I go into New York. I do question. I will ask you. I will say this. I cannot imagine that property values in New York didn't just drop markedly as a result of this election.
Yeah, I've got some friends that are realtors up there. I'll ask them what they've got.
Because I would assume that like, hey, that the demand for purchasing a home in New York just dropped steeply, and that's got to affect the housing market. Where it's
100%, yeah.
People don't want to be there if they, when the chaos breaks out. So like if you're if you own a home in New York, I think you might have lost, depending on where that home is located, anywhere between 5 and 10% on the value of your house just yesterday, and 3 years from now, it could be like infinitely worse. It could be like 20, 25. 10%.
Everything jumped up during the COVID stuff. The average that I was finding was anywhere from 25 to 40%. Most of it was 40%. So if these people are losing 5 or 10%,
that's okay. It's not that.
It's not that bad, but it's also a pretty big chunk. because property values are already dropping slowly. It's about to become a buyer's market pretty quick. So,
Well, we need a buyer's market because
for sure.
that's a reflection of economy. I think that's working a little better. Can these new politicians impact the midterms? Only to the extent that they're affecting how voting is done. I would think.
To say, yeah, they can if you do with voting. Yeah.
They pass laws because ultimately each state is the master of how they run their elections. So if they win in 21 and they change their voting regulations to make it easier for there to be more thievery in the future, which, let's face it, that's what Democrats always do under the guise of, better access to voting. So to the extent they're empowered to do that, so that could have an impact on the midterms and beyond.
Yeah, I think so. I totally agree with that.
Barris said lots of MAGA independents are pissed at regular GOP and feel abandoned by Trump on domestic issues. The Indies protest voted everywhere. So that's her explanation for why it is that we lost so much. That's very, very possible. But Chitterelli got 100,000 more votes than he got last time. What I'm saying is, he got 100,000. We only had an increase of 30,000 people. And he has 100,000 more votes than he got last time. And so it's, you would think that if anything, if that was MAGA basically boycotting the election because they're angry at the GOP, that he would have had fewer votes, not a jump like that. So
yeah, I don't believe it's MAGA boycotting the election. I think there's some shenanigans afoot in one way or another. There's no way that number doesn't go up naturally like that from one election to the other. That's a crazy spike.
HPGKMC says, here's a few shekels, dear leader, to help you with your pink eye meds. I don't have pink eye, and it looks
whoa. You got conjunctivitis?
No. Yesterday, all night long, I was going to cancel yesterday, but for the fact that it was an election night. But
that eye does look a little droopy, though.
It was much worse yesterday. Like,
I didn't get a chance to watch yesterday. I was
of course,
on another show.
Yeah, you were busy watching Rich Barris and lots of other folks.
Well, I was watching better YouTubers, i.e., me on another show. But yeah,
I was watching higher quality content, Joe. So thank you. Please make sure. Yeah. Then you wonder why I reach out to Phil Coggins. So.
I mean, your eye is a little pink, man. You got
no. It was yesterday. I wasn't screaming in agony just because I refused.
Everybody in the chat saying yes, and he does. No, he has palsy. Wait, do you have palsy instead?
What?
Your face starts drooping midstream. I'm calling Lady Logic to get you to the hospital. Okay. Just saying. I'm watching the camera now, pretty sternly.
Yeah. Well. It was now okay.
California skunk eye. I love the chat.
I'm done here. So the point that I'm getting at, I was like, I was thinking today, why didn't I just do this all night last night? I was like, why do I have to have my face up there?
Well, you can't do it with both of us. The chat's gonna riot.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come back on camera sometime. Just put an eye patch on and ease back in, Joe.
Yeah. But I will say that my eye, like yesterday, the only reason I wasn't screaming in pain is because I refused to scream. But I was like, I had to like grip my leg tightly, and like I was like shaking. Like Lady Logic was
really?
Like that's how bad the pain was. It felt like there was like someone sticking a thumbtack in my eye.
What do you release the pink eye is what they're saying in chat now? Joe, that's not good. I'm just saying.
It was I went to an optometrist, and
what they say.
He said that I had an erosion on my cornea.
Erosion on your cornea.
Yeah, it looks like he said it looked like it's abrased, like, and
you mean an abrasion?
It's an Well, he
erosion means it's literally like melting away. It's eroding.
He's not sure. He's not sure if that's what it was. Like he's like not sure.
Have you been sticking your finger in your eye lately?
No, I went through the whole thing. You shouldn't be doing
that. You know that, right?
I actually, the big problem I have is I can't touch my eye. Everyone who sticks contacts in their eyes, I cannot. My lids just
automatically
cramp shut.
Yeah.
I can't keep my lids open. So, yeah, it's really bad.
I think you'll be fine. I think you. How's the pain today?
Oh, bless God, it is a million times better today.
Yeah, I think you may have just scratched your eye in your sleep.
Yeah, I have this. I have dryness in my eye when I'm sleeping, so I've been dealing with
Yeah,
that
which
for.
means you probably stuck your dirty hand in your eye and scratched it while half asleep, and you
That's
scratched
not
it and got
possible.
pink eye at the same time. What do you sleep with gloves on?
Yeah. Okay. Dana says War Eagle.
Come
And
on.
Gazelle says, Joe, I found a site for you, Miami. Lots of the Jews in Southern Florida. Yeah, no, I know there's a lot of Jewish areas in Southern Florida. Go get it, San. There are. It's just like a Miami Jew, and it's not. They're all the same. Different parts of Miami. You know, there's North Miami. There's Miami. There's all sorts of Jewish communities there.
Yeah,
And
there's tons of them down there. Yeah, there's a few in Alabama too, but I don't know like how well.
He's
Yeah,
giving
how
me all these
active they
different.
really are.
Now he's giving me, I think, a link to like a Jewish real estate market. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a huge market for it in Florida. I mean, I've got a bunch of friends that do it. So,
all right, yeah. So it's not happening in 2025. Let's just put it that way. But I appreciate Uzelian, you're trying to hook me up with different brokers down
you
there.
got to get out of Jersey, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not so bad yet that I need to. That I feel like I need to.
Well,
leave.
we already established last week that you would run from your problems, so you might as well get to running, right? Get to practicing, you know.
Yeah. Anyhow, Kimmy saying a corneal abrasion is very painful. It feels like 100 eyelashes in your eye. It heals quickly though. Usually 24 hours to feel better. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's what I was dealing with yesterday. Let's get back into like actual stuff. So it starts with, is this where I wanted to start? I think this is where I wanted to start. Yeah. This is Trump. We're switching topics now. All right.
Gotcha.
We're switching topics now as we work towards you heard that we've had a lockdown, right? You heard that there's a lockdown?
I heard that, yeah.
Someone told you that there's a lockdown. It's been going on for a while now.
Yes.
I think it's the second longest lockdown ever. Here's Trump's thoughts on it.
It's time for Chuck Schumer, the radical Democrat Congress, to stop playing games with the people's lives and to pass a clean funding bill that they've done 30 times before.
30 times
and to reopen government immediately. Just reopen it. It's time for Chuck Schumer, the radical.
So that's where he's coming from. I do think it's very possible. I'm not making promises to anyone, but I do think it's very possible that we will see an end to this lockdowns relatively soon.
How soon are you thinking, Joe? Because it's really affecting
within a week.
Oh, in a week?
Within the next week.
Okay.
I think it's very possible that will happen.
Would you put money on it? Would you bet on it? Because if a Jew wouldn't bet on it, then you're saying just shenanigans.
Do I get any kind of odds?
Oh, what type of odds do you want?
1.5 to 1.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You'll give me. So you're saying it's. So what I'm saying is a week from today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How much are we betting?
Oh, it's simple. Small little $5, $10. What do you want to do?
Oh, okay. Whatever. No, that's. If it's $5, $10, I can do 1 for 1.
I mean, I wasn't going to break the bank on you, Joe. I don't want to make you start sweating when it doesn't happen next week. If for some reason you get pink eye again, you cancel the show, you don't show up, you never answer my phone calls, we'll do a little small. It's not a gentleman's bet, but it's a little small. We'll do $10. How's that sound?
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'll happily bet you $10.
Right.
So, and if I win, I get 15, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. No, that's fine. Now within a week. So right now it's 11:38 p.m. my time.
11:38 your time. So
1 week from now, government's reopen. I'm saying.
Exactly. Sounds good. It's a bet.
All right. Okay. That's not
U.S.
bad.
dollars, people are
Yes.
saying. Somebody
Yes.
said 7,000. No, Joe would cancel the show the moment it doesn't happen. He'd never call me back.
I wouldn't welch on a bet. I wouldn't even make a bet that I would have a concern about that. But I thought you were gonna say like 1,000 or something.
No,
That's
I'm not
why-
going to put $1,000 on Trump and the government right now. They're crazy. I'm not that confident.
All right. So that's why I was asking for 1.5 to 1. But okay, here we go.
It's time for
This is him talking about the shutdown and how he's tired. He's getting tired of this.
Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation.
Okay, so now we'll give it a little more.
There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so that's a long time. But when they can't do an extension, and John, I think they've done an extension every single time they've ever been asked forever. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions
Both
are
sides have done
supposed to be easy,
extensions.
but if they won't do an extension,
Really?
they won't do any bill, even a simple bill.
Every year since like the 1990s, we've had an extension, and it's not a shutdown thing. It's insanity.
And we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills.
Now he's talking about ending the filibuster. I don't know how familiar you are with filibuster rules.
Not the rules, but I mean, I know the basics, the basic tenets of it.
Okay, so the way it works is this. It used to be you needed 2/3 of the Senate. Now you only need 60 votes from the Senate. You need majority. I want to explain to both you and my audience, because I'm sure many of you who are watching are familiar with how voting works in Congress, but a handful of you may need a refresher course. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, allow me to help elucidate you.
It's not in the Constitution, right? Like it's purely
the
a
rules-
Senate-made rule, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So the way it works, and the Senate has the power to change its own rules. The way it works is that you need a simple majority in the House in order for a bill to pass.
Yes.
If there's a tie, the Speaker of the House breaks the tie.
Mm-hmm.
In the Senate, you used to need 2/3. Now they lowered it and they said you need 60 out of you need 60%.
Okay.
So, which is 60 out of 100 senators in order for something to pass.
Gotcha.
Now, with that in mind, there is an exception to that's why it's called the filibuster. The filibuster actually has a couple of meanings in politics. Sometimes when they talk about filibuster, it means that it's talking about a congressman getting up and speaking for hours and hours on end in order to delay the opportunity for a vote to happen. And that's one type of filibustering. But the point of filibuster is that it's designed to slow things down from passing. But the other form of filibuster, which is relevant in this conversation, is the fact that you need 60 senators, not just 50. There is an exception to that, which is that if it's a pure budgetary adjustment, a reconciliation of the budget, in that case, once per fiscal year, the Congress has a right to basically say, hey, we're gonna skip past the filibuster, and a simple majority is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you hear that and you just read something like that, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is a budget thing. Why doesn't that work over here? Because even though this is a budget thing, the reconciliation it's a fix on existing budgets. The way they change the rules here, they basically set it up that because sometimes we might have an emergency that we need to spend some money. So we're going to allocate money from A and move it over to B and basically readjust maybe borrow a little extra, but we're going to basically play around with the budget that was already set up on October 1st at the start of the fiscal year, and we're going to adjust that at some point during the year. If you're going to be doing that, then once a year you can do that if it's really just about adjusting the budget. But there's certain things about that. You can't throw in certain pork. You can't throw in pork of like, oh, and also elections need to be monitored or something like that. That's not budgetary, right? You can't just throw stuff like that in. It has to be all about spending and things of that nature. Okay, fine. You also cannot use it to build the initial budget.
Okay.
And that's what they need to do now. They need to actually you're building the initial budget. When you have a continuing resolution, you're saying, what is our budget going to be for the fiscal year 2026? So you cannot, that's called building the budget for the year. There is no exclusion of the filibuster, the 60 senator filibuster, to build the budget. So that's why for signing off on this continuing resolution, you need to have 60 senators. Right now they have 54 because Fetterman has crossed party lines, and he has since day one. He's like, I'm not shutting down the government. That's insanity. We've been doing continuing resolutions forever. We need to do one now. And he's continually yelling at, he's voted 14 times to pass the CR, and they can't get any of the Democrats under Schumer, who's the leader of the Democrats, to budge. So that's what the whole issue is here. Now, what the talk is to end the filibuster and just say adios. It's called the nuclear option, because why do we have the filibuster? The reason for the filibuster is so that you don't have one party that gets a simple majority and basically runs roughshod over everyone else. And basically says, F you, we're going to pass all these laws that you can't stand and screw you over. So the idea is you need to basically work with the minority party to some degree, because we assume that neither party is going to end up getting 60 senators in there. So there's going to have to be some accommodations that are made in order to get them to go along with the bill. That's that's the purpose of the filibuster. So now Trump is basically saying they're just going to say no to everything. We need to abolish the filibuster, which a lot of people who are genuinely conservative, really concerned about the government, just passing laws like that, they're basically saying like, well, when Democrats come to power, once the filibuster's gone, they're just going to start banning Second Amendment stuff. They'll start, they'll
in
just
a heartbeat, I think.
Yeah, that there's going to be, they're going to be all over the place. It's going to be insanity that's going to be going on if we abolish the filibuster. So we don't want to do that, because they're going to be packing the courts.
Yeah, you're not going to have any stopgaps in. There's going to be no break.
Right, exactly. All of a sudden now they'll be like, oh, okay, we have a Democrat president. We think that the Supreme Court, instead of having 9 justices, should really have 31.
Yeah, but what if this
we're
is
going to
a
appoint
plan?
20? We're going to appoint 20 new justices. And they're all going to be, and they're going to be serving for life, and they're all going to be sitting there as like, these crazy, wacko, woke Antifa justices who are now Supreme Court justices who are basically interpreting the law. And they'll be like, oh yeah, guns, that's like this, that doesn't apply to you, and overturning, and basically, legalizing 9th-month abortions, everything terrible. The Supreme Court will become a walking joke. So that's just the tip of the iceberg as to what they can do if you abolish the filibuster. I'm almost done. Now, the alternative is you could abolish the filibuster in certain ways and leave it in place in other ways. You can abolish the filibuster as it relates to, let's say, setting the budget.
Okay.
And say, okay, when it comes to a CR, we don't need the filibuster. A simple majority is enough. Just to keep the government, for purposes of keeping the government open, that there's no filibuster. That's a way that they can do it, which is far less nuclear. But what Trump is really describing here is doing away with it altogether, because he's like he's basically saying the government's shut down now, but he's also saying if we don't abolish the filibuster, all these great laws I want to pass are never going to pass. Because they're just going to say no. Well, he's not talking about the budget. He's talking about things like abolishing DEI and laws that you and I would probably agree with that will be overturned in 10 seconds when Democrats gain power. And they'll abolish these laws that's the second that they gain power. So, but this is let's hear the rest of his point here on this.
Yeah,
and you can mull over what he's now everyone has a better, hopefully a full understanding as to what we're talking about when we're talking about abolishing the filibuster and the potential benefits and downsides.
Any bill, even a simple bill, and we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills. We should open up. We should start tonight with the country's open. Congratulations. Then we should pass voter ID. We should pass no mail-in voting. We should pass all the things that we want to pass, make our elections secure and safe, because California is a disaster. Many of the states are disasters. But can you imagine when they vote almost unanimously against voter ID? All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. That's only for one reason, because they cheat. We would pass that in 15 minutes. If you don't get it, you'll never pass that. You'll never talk about mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots make it automatically corrupt. If you have mail-in ballots, automatically it's correct. Even Jimmy Carter, they had the Carter Commission after he got out of office, and he had a group of very distinguished people, Democrats and Republicans, and they passed, they recommended things take place. It was a long time ago. And they said about mail-in ballots, if there is mail-in ballots, there will definitely be corruption, because, you know, they pass through too many hands. I mean, you go in to vote, and they want you cut.
And Robin, who's my resident Democrat who comes in here, claiming no Democrats path this corrupt court purchased by Leonard Leo. I don't know what that means, purchased by Leonard Leo. I don't know what that means. Why would they do it now? I think that's a reasonable question. I'll answer it for you shortly. Okay, because there is an answer to your question. I think it's a reasonable question. In fact, I'll answer that with from a Democrat. I'll answer that, in fact, right now.
I don't know if I like this. Actually, I know I don't like this. Something about
Holy
this.
crap. Senator John Fetterman just called out his own party for freaking out about Trump wanting to nuke the filibuster. Quote, we all wanted to eliminate the entire filibuster. It was just a couple of years about that. So, I mean, that they had this thing called the internet. You know, you could just look up and down. We all wanted to wreck the filibuster, he said, per Fox. That's what Fetterman has said, that the Democrats wanted to, and that, you know, they were basically on the cusp of doing it. Why it ended up not happening? Cooler heads ultimately prevailed. But part of that cooler heads was Manchin, who was Democrat, who was, you know, against it, Sinema. So the people who the Democrats hate, chased out of their party, are the ones who stopped them. So when you ask me a question that they didn't do this, you know, that they couldn't pack the court without abolishing the filibuster, and the only reason they didn't is because of Manchin and Sinema. And what did your party do to them? They basically said, "Get the hell out of our party."
Yeah, they kicked him out.
They chased
They
him
did
away.
everything they could to get rid of him.
So now that you chased out those people, why should we think for a second that if you're chasing out the people who are stopping you from acting like, you know, acting with unbridled passion for the craziest of crazy decisions, why should we not think that now when you get power, you are going to act on those impulses? And that's what Fetterman is saying. So give me your...
He's the logical one now in the Democrat
Isn't that
Party.
crazy?
It
Isn't
is
that crazy?
Every time I hear him speak, I just go, yeah, I agree with this guy. I mean, I can't understand half of what he's saying, but I agree with him somehow. So,
yeah.
It's wild.
So, Kimmy Hunt is pointing out that last time a budget passed on time in Congress in 1997, she's talking about not considering a resolution, like an actual budget, like they're supposed to be doing every year. So, what are your thoughts? Before
I don't like this.
You don't like
It's very
abolishing the
simple.
filibuster?
No, I don't like it. I feel, one, I do think it's going to give the conservatives too much unbridled power. And look, man, I am a
It'll
conservative.
It'll give the conservatives too much unbridled power.
Right now it will, right? And they may do some things that even conservatives don't like, right? We still have a bunch of rhinos up there that are trying to get things through all the time. But when Trump leaves office, another Democrat comes in, if that happens, then we're in some major trouble.
If they get the House and Senate, yeah.
Yeah, we're in some huge, and eventually it will happen. And without the filibuster, everything that we've worked for is now poof, gone up in smoke.
I'll also point out one more thing. Most people are expecting we're going to lose the House next year, which would mean that even if we got a filibuster, they would have, like, basically by the time they reopen and start writing these laws, they would have 10 months to get everything done, you know?
Sure.
A
And
year.
then-
They would have a year because until the new ones come in, it'll be January. The new House will come in on January 3rd, 2026. 2020, 2020, right? 2020.
You're right.
January 3rd, 2027 is when.
Oh
they'll
yeah,
come
yeah,
in.
yeah. The new house will come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't like this idea. I really don't. So something about this feels very dangerous to me. It feels to me like we're playing with our future. That you don't have Trump in there and all the MAGA people doing the right things. And also, this doesn't mean that just the Democrats can do it. We've all had Republicans and conservatives that we weren't happy with the things that they're doing. That means they can do it. They can just turn right back around and be the same party with a different letter beside their name. So
True. But here's the other thought. I had 2 more clips of Trump talking about this that I wanted to share with you, where he's going to try and sell you on why it is that we should be
okay,
abolishing.
he can. He's a good salesman. Let's give it a shot.
If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it within the first hour. If they take power, and it's more likely that they take power if we don't do it, because we're not going to be passing any legislation. They're not going to approve anything. We're going to go 3.25 years. There won't be one bill that we're going to pass. Because the easiest thing to pass is exactly right now what they won't pass. And they'll do that, and they'll wreak havoc. But let's assume they get it. They're doing it anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're doing it anyway. And, I have a case where I have great U.S. attorneys that can't be approved because of the blue slips. The blue slips, I think you should terminate blue slips, too. It's a mental termination because it's really a custom. If I thought...
Okay.
So, and I got one more clip of him. Is this one more clip? Is this? No, that was it. So his point is, it's coming. It's
No matter what.
The filibuster is going to be abolished, and I think he makes an interesting point that if you don't pass any laws, so there's less reason for people to vote for you in the next election because you're not passing anything that's helping the people. And they'll
I
be
don't
like, "Well,
disagree with that,
you're in charge of the House and the Senate, and you can't get anything passed, so you suck." So,
But
how
what
are we
guardrails
actually-
do we put up to stop this from turning into a bloodbath when Democrats get into power? Because it's going to happen. You can't stop it. What guardrails? That's what he needs to sell me on. What sort of guardrails are we going to put up in order to protect what we're doing now? Otherwise, we're just going to have a couple years of great times, and it's going to turn back into nonsense.
Right?
And he's got the brain power up there.
What
He's got enough people.
guardrails do we have? So, do you think that they're going to do it anyway?
Either way, yeah, he's right. Eventually, they are going to do away with the filibuster. But
So, if they're going to do away with it anyway, so in that case, would it not?
yeah,
make
we're in a
more
catch-22, aren't we?
So, yeah, exactly. So, what are you solving by not doing it now?
If you do away with the filibuster and you figure out how to put some guardrails up to protect it from, I don't know what you would do yet. This problem just got.
And here's
flung in
the
my
other
lap.
thing.
I've had a
Here's
chance
the other
to
thing.
mull it over.
We just finished a whole story about thoughts about election fraud.
Yes.
So, and there's a massive concern about there being widespread election fraud, hundreds of thousands of basically monopoly money ballots that come in, and that a state that has growth of 30,000 people has an increase in ballots that come in of 500,000 for some candidate that no one heard about 6 months ago, and all of a sudden, and it's not like there was some blitz of like, oh, the genius of Mikey Sherrill.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can understand Mamdani. You know what I'm saying? Because he's new. I can understand there being
a little
some sort
fresh
of
take, a little
cultural
new
fresh.
blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can understand if there was a bump in New York voting because people coming out who don't normally come out. But
I mean,
when
he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't at this point, right?
Right.
Like it is. If you can stop election fraud, I do think a majority, a lot more of the country is conservative. There's a lot more conservatives out there than what we think. I just don't think they're politically active.
But the point that I was making, because there's 2 points really that's laced into what Trump was just saying. One is you're not inspiring people with a reason to vote for you because you're not passing anything because the Democrats standing in the way. And the other is that we're leaving those elections wide open for them to continue stealing it, as opposed to making it much harder for them to steal it by saying that, by requiring on federal elections, certainly, that you have voter ID and clean up your voter rolls, your registration rolls, and make it much harder to no mail-in ballots, and basically pass laws like that to make it harder to cheat, so because otherwise they're going to take power that much sooner.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So how do you feel about it? You ask me, what's your opinion on it? Do it? I don't like that look on your face. You don't like it either. Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
So what do we do? Because it
I,
is
I would
political
use
suicide if he doesn't do it.
I would
He's
use
not
it
mentioned
as,
it.
I would use the threat of abolishing the filibuster as a threat over the
Mhm.
Democrats. I would, and that could be what we're seeing.
You'd use it as a
happening now.
cudgel, not as an actual weapon, though. You would
as a
do it.
sword of Damocles.
Yeah, got you.
Of you have to be
Just
reasonable
hanging
on
there,
some
yeah.
things, right? You have to be reasonable on some things, otherwise we're just going to ignore you.
Mm.
So if you're being this unreasonable that you can't even pass a CR that you passed 30 times before, that 6 months ago that Schumer was basically saying that you can't shut down the government and there's nothing wrong with just signing off. If you can't pass this is why I think that this thing's going to end within a week.
Mm.
This is why I bet that, because I do think they're gonna recognize that this is a threat looming over their heads. That, okay, look, if we don't have this government open by Saturday, we're just gonna abolish filibuster.
What if they abolish the filibuster, pass everything they want, and then redo the filibuster right before he leaves office?
That doesn't.
He would be able to do it.
Yeah, they can do that, but then Democrats, when they get power, will just.
Yeah, but it would still give us a bigger stopgap. I mean, some sort of guardrail.
That's not going
needs
to do
be up, I
anything.
think.
Putting the filibuster back in. Once you take it out, putting the filibuster back in is not going to. It's not going to do anything.
I don't. Yeah. Like I said, this problem just got dropped in my lap. I haven't had a chance to really mull it over, but I don't like the idea. It feels
dirty.
very dangerous to me.
Feels dangerous and dirty. Yeah. But that is you said what Megyn Kelly apparently said of abolish it and put it back.
Hell yeah. Great minds and beautiful. We're both beautiful. And blonde-ish. I'm blonde-ish. What?
Do the curtains match the drapes?
I mean, do we want to have this conversation in front of like 500 people?
I'm just saying. I'm just
always. Okay, everybody, always.
Republicans haven't voted anything but budgets. Haven't bots made Democrats show up to their Senate in the pajamas. Half of them are too old to stand for a filibuster. Make them do it first before abolishing it.
Oof.
So
True.
he's against abolishing it. If the agenda is codified into laws, they're hard to repeal. Unlike EOs, that's true.
Yeah, the executive orders.
Because they'll need to get the majority in all. They'll need to get the House and the majority. That's true.
Mm-hmm. It would have.
That's true.
Yeah.
But Republican senators don't want the MAGA agenda, so the filibuster is their excuse. That also makes a lot of sense too. That it's basically
you've
the
got
neocons.
those rhinos in there.
The neocons can all pretend, oh, I would pass these anti-DI things. Oh, I would balance our budget and cut out all this stuff, but we can't because of the Democrats. They all hide behind their Democrat contemporaries. So
True.
I think Kimmy is bringing something very insightful there. Brian Olenkamp says, codify the filibuster that would at least require the House, the Senate, and President to take it away. That's the point. That's the point, is you're saying until they get all three, they wouldn't be able to take the filibuster away.
See, that's what I would do. All right. Yeah, I would codify it. I would take it away. I would then do all the things I wanted to do and then put it back and do it that way. I'm a political genius and I'm retarded.
No. Okay. I'm thinking through what Brian and you are talking about here now, and that's a really interesting thing, is to basically pass a law that the filibuster must die but on date X and cannot be reestablished for like the next 10 years.
Oof.
So we kill a filibuster for a year and by law reestablish it. So that the only way they can overturn it, is via filibuster. Is by overcoming the filibuster.
See, they need us up there in Washington. What are they doing?
There you go.
Just figured it out.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Pass everything we want.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens in the election.
There you go.
And if we hold on to it, you keep it going for another 3 years.
That's it.
Another 2 years of Trump's term.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as we lose an election that we're not going to have the majority anymore, you basically sunset it out.
Yes.
And you say, as of January 1st for the next 30 years.
X amount of years. Yeah.
For the next 10 years, there's no filibuster. The filibuster cannot be
Touched.
Yeah, by the Senate, and strip the Senate of its powers to actually monitor itself.
There you go.
There'll be claims that the law is unconstitutional, that the Senate by the Constitution.
But the law's
has a
already
right to police
unconstitutional.
itself.
The filibuster's already not constitutional. There's my argument.
I think we might have solved the problem right there. I think we might have solved it.
I'm telling you, man. Genius.
You make the rules. You got the rules now. You set them up now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evening, 2 years. I feel like free cool. Oh, look at that. 2 years.
Congratulations.
K Val. Good to see you, brother. I feel like free Kool-Aid should be available at this point. Also, I don't like getting rid of the filibuster at all. Opens too many doors to violate constitutional rights. Okay. I hear you. Devil's advocate pro-abolishing. If we only count citizens in the census, Democrats will never win another election. That's another thing that you put in law.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And they'll stop trying to get them. That's another law that they need to pass. That if or you make a 3/5 compromise on them.
Stop it. What are you doing? I was like, we're going to make a whole stream without any of these jokes.
What?
What? Joe, we were so close.
You make a 3/5 compromise. We count immigrants. You want to look at what's historically appropriate.
Stop it. You're just wading in deeper now.
What's historically appropriate. We make a 3/5 compromise. We say they count as 3/5. They're not citizens. We understand that, that's
you're gonna get me canceled.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about illegal aliens.
Yeah, sure.
I'm talking about non-citizens. A 3/5 compromise. I think
that. Look, you know what? I'm with you. We're knocking them out the park tonight. We are the 3/5 of a cult. If they would do something like what we came up with, though, I would be fine with the filibuster, or just elect Trump as God King Emperor and then do away with everything. And there you go. We've got it.
Yeah.
They'd be able to do that then.
No, and they would lose so many seats in the House.
Mm-hmm.
They would all go to red states now.
Yeah,
because everything would change. Everything would change.
100%.
Oh my God, that's what they need to do.
I'm being dead serious. Yeah.
No, that's really what they need to do. You're right. They don't even do 3/5. Give them 0. Give them 0. Overnight, California would lose 10 seats.
Immediately.
Or 8 seats. How many illegal aliens they got? There's something they have like 53 right now or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just drop them out. Drop them all out.
They don't exist. Poof.
Yeah. And that's the way to go. New York would lose seats. Everyone, they would all.
New York would be. Yeah, they would lose so many. The illegal immigrants in New York and California alone are astonishing. Think about all the states in the center of the country that are blue because of immigrants.
Okay. Do we sell you on the filibuster?
If we can do what we came up with, then yeah.
I think the filibuster. I think this is the filibuster solution. Plus, you're going to win a lot more elections. You'll have control.
Yeah, from then on, it'll be a lot more fair. Yeah.
This is what they would do.
They would do the same thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, this is what.
So if you're gonna do it, do it. But if you're gonna just use it, like you said, a sword of Damocles just sitting there hanging over their head, I just don't. I think you're playing a very dangerous game of chicken at that point.
So let's hear from a few. Let's hear from a few senators as to how they're feeling about this.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah. So this is Senator Jim Banks weighing in on his thoughts on this. Thanks.
Hey, everybody. I just left the White House, had breakfast with President Trump and my Republican Senate colleagues. And frankly, President Trump is frustrated, and so am I. It's time to reopen the government, get back to work, and do all of the things that the American people elected us to do 1 year ago from this week in the historic 2024 election. So let's get back to work. Let's do what it takes, whether that's changing the filibuster rules in the Senate, whatever it takes. We've got just over 3 years with President Trump, the greatest president of my lifetime in the White House. Let's get things done. Let's save this country and make it better for our kids and our grandkids. That's what this is all about. I'm proud to stand with President Trump. Thank you very much.
Which you really wouldn't expect to hear that from him. He's not really a big MAGA voice, but some of the neocons are starting to turn. Some of the neocons are starting to turn. I'm going to save this guy for in a minute. Let's go to Josh Hawley next. This is Josh Hawley weighing in on the matter.
Today that you would be open to the idea of doing what President Trump has asked, and that is doing away with the filibuster. Well, obviously that would be advantageous right now to reopen the government. Any concerns at all about what that could look like in the future when Democrats have control of the Senate?
Well, I will just say this. Every day that the Democrats force the shutdown to go on, every day that they deny payment to our great federal law enforcement, every day that they hold hostage needy families, the president's arguments about the filibuster get a lot more attractive. And I think what he's saying makes a lot of sense, which is that the Senate needs to work. It needs to produce. Congress needs to produce. And if the Democrats are just going to, if this is going to be the new norm, Will, if they're just going to hold us hostage constantly for the next 3 years, we cannot allow that to happen. So I would just send the message to the Democrats out there. If you don't want that to happen, if you don't want the filibuster to be changed, then come to the table and start getting reasonable.
Couldn't
but
you
if this
argue,
is your
Senator,
new
they
plan,
do
That's what I was saying, that they're going to use it as the
Yeah.
sword of Damocles, as a cudgel.
Yeah.
want that? In fact, they do want to do away with the filibuster, and they could be baiting Republicans into doing just that, doing away with the filibuster.
Oh, they don't want it changed now, Will, but I think they do want the government shut down, and I think they'll do anything they can to derail the Trump presidency. We saw this in the first term. We saw them impeach him twice. We saw them investigate him endlessly. They can't do that right now, but they can keep the government closed. They can try to impede his agenda, and they're doing that.
That's so, yeah, you can change all the voting laws overnight to make sure our votes are fair, free elections. You know, no mail-ins, mandate voter ID, don't count illegal aliens, and overnight you'll have 280 Republicans in the House. Not 280.
Yeah.
Probably like
It would
250,
change
250.
everything. But
You have 200. You'll get 250 Republicans. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I have your guy also. I saved him. I saved Tommy for you. Tommy Tuberville.
Tupperville.
Tommy Teletubby.
51.
Tupperville.
And
Okay.
This is him, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, if we need to bust it, let's bust it. Let's knock it down to 51 and let the Senate know that, listen, the power needs to go to the president and let him get something done. If we don't, we're going to lose our country. It's going to be over with. And so he's got 3 years. He's the last Trump that we'll have in office. He's hard-nosed.
I don't know that he's the last Trump we'll have in office.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That was a little overstep there. Tommy, what are you doing?
He believes in this country. Let's give him some support. If he wants to blow
man.
up the filibuster, I'm all for it.
Blow it
if we
up,
need to-
man. Let's do it.
So there you go. We can get some
Tommy
fireworks.
Yeah,
We're gonna-
man. You know, I'm super happy about it. You know, we're gonna get out there and we're gonna win.
Yeah, it's a lot of senators are starting to sound like this. Yeah, John Cornyn. In promising development, Senator John Cornyn expresses he's open to nuking the filibuster for certain situations such as appropriations bills and government shutdowns per punch bowl. 51 votes, not 60. Huge coming from Cornyn. Get it done, GOP. Show us you have a spine. So that was the less nuclear option. Now, Publius is saying that would be he's a pretty big account, this guy Publius. What is he, 121,000?
No bigger than Good Logic. What are you talking about?
He's twice his ex
Nah,
twice my
yeah,
size.
he may have more numbers, but the actual cult that follows him.
I have 60 now on which I didn't even know when that happened. Because last
I have
time I
like-
was looking, I was like 54, and then I looked again, and I was like, oh, I'm at 60 now. That's
I have like 419. So why don't you brag about it?
it's the
Okay.
it's the stupidest thing in the world. It's not like it's totally based. Everyone knows it's totally based on looks.
True.
Pop-
What an asshole. It's a beauty contest. And you know what, Sin?
100%.
You're not beautiful.
It's 100% a beauty contest. So Publius says that would be political suicide. Republicans using the nuclear option just to pass a Biden CR with a $2 trillion deficit. Insanity. The filibuster must be ended to pass all the promised America First MAGA agenda, all of it. And that's how you actually can help secure it. I'll tell you this, that Byron Donalds, who's obviously he's in the House, he's not in the Senate, but he's a really great candidate to be our after Vance. He's really up there in my opinion.
Okay.
So I messed this up. Let me go back. I want to do that. I wanted this tab. There we go. It says, right, it's time to end the filibuster. We have a historic opportunity to pass our America First agenda. Let us not squander it on a procedural nostalgia. I'll stand ready to support the Senate GOP in this effort. The time for talking is over. The time for governing is now. I don't know if you can read that. If I make this bigger, maybe y'all can read it. Let's see if I make it bigger, if that'll help.
Embiggen it.
Dear Majority Leader Thune, I write to you as a fellow Republican, committed to delivering on the mandate the American people gave us in 2024 to enact bold conservative reforms that restore prosperity, secure our nation, and rein in Washington's excess Senate filibuster, a relic of a bygone era of bipartisanship that no longer exists, stands as the single greatest obstacle to fulfilling that promise. I urge you to lead the charge to eliminate the legislative filibuster and allow the Senate to function on a simple majority basis as the founders intended for most of its history. With unified Republican control of Congress and the White House, the American people expect results, not procedural paralysis. In the last month alone, the Democrat Party has repeatedly weaponized this impractical barrier to the detriment of American citizens. Rather than paying our men and women in uniform or helping to feed struggling families, Democrats, by their own admission, have sought to leverage American suffering for political gain. A simple majority Senate would finally enable us to address 4 critical policy areas that have languished under minority obstruction: healthcare, immigration, energy, and federal spending. We can repeal the last vestiges of Obamacare's regulatory straitjacket, expand health savings accounts, promote price transparency, and empower patients and doctors over bureaucrats. A simple majority vote would deliver lower premiums, more choice, and true patient-centered care without the specter of a 60-center threshold. Thanks to President Trump's leadership, we have secured a wide-open border. We have secured the wide-open border left behind by the Biden administration and the radical left-wing Democrats, however much work remains. We must continue carrying out the president's immigration agenda, hire thousands of additional Border Patrol agents. It's inspiring, right? And we should have some, I need some
music, right? Some
I would
background
share
music
some
to really-
I would share some music, but I can't because you're here. So I'm not kidding. Like they won't
It's not
hear
because you're a boomer and click something in your computer that you don't know how to click off.
Precisely. Hire thousands of additional Border Patrol agents, reinstate remain in Mexico, and end catch and release, all stalled by filibuster threats. Beyond the border, we must overhaul our legal immigration system to prioritize merit, skills, and assimilation over chain migration and visa lotteries. Ending the filibuster would allow us to eliminate sanctuary city incentives and protect American workers from unfair competition. You know how you eliminate that? By saying you get no extra delegates for having them. That's how you do it.
That's how you do
America's surging power demands. You could even, by the way, if you have it, you could just say we're making it illegal to have sanctuary cities. There you go. That's you're violating executive power. Executive power is to enforce immigration and to take care of that. You're just make it illegal to have any regulations that.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think they're already illegal, but you can expressly make it illegal by statute. America's surging power demands, driven by AI data centers, manufacturing resurgence, and electrical vehicle mandates, are being crushed by the Obama-Biden era policies that have shuttered coal plants, strangled permitting, and subsidized unreliable wind and solar while ignoring nuclear power. We can reverse these failures by accelerating new nuclear reactor deployments, streamlining NRC approvals, funding advanced small modular reactors, and lifting outdated restrictions on uranium enrichment. A simple majority Senate would unleash clean, safe American nuclear power to meet 21st century needs, create high-wage jobs, and end dependence on intermittent sources backed by the left. And runaway deficits continue to threaten our children's welfare, our future. We can pass a balanced budget amendment, impose statutory spending caps, and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse across the federal bureaucracy. The filibuster has shielded bloated appropriations for too long. A simple majority would force fiscal responsibility. Leader Thune, the filibuster is not a safeguard of deliberation. It's a veto wielded by a Democrat minority party that has chosen obstruction for political gain over compromise in the best interest of the American people. The nuclear option is not a weapon. It's a tool to restore majority rule in the framework of our constitutional republic. It's democracy! That's what you tell the left.
That's all it is.
It's democracy!
Yeah.
President Trump and the American people have given us a historic opportunity. Let's not squander it on procedural nostalgia. I stand ready to support you and the Senate colleagues in this effort. The time for talking is over. The time for governing has begun. Sincerely, Byron Donalds. I got to tell you, he makes a pretty compelling argument.
He does, but still, I think our solution is the way to go. If they can do that, then fine. Sure. Knock it out the park.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to bend on that one. So saith cynic.
I got one last one here for you on this topic before we land our ship on this.
Yeah.
And move on to other passion. That wasn't what I wanted to do. What happened there? That's what I wanted. Copy. There we go. If Republicans are to end the filibuster, they must use it to fund 12 separate appropriations bills and balance the budget. This I agree with also. And also pass every single piece of America First MAGA agenda, especially election integrity laws. Using it just to fund the Biden CR, the $2 trillion deficit would be a self-inflicted wound Republicans may never recover from. Democrats will definitely use it as a justification in the future to pass their open borders communist agenda, and likely will whatever Republicans do now. So this is how you get rid of illegal aliens. They won't be fighting to keep the illegal aliens in if they have no democratic power that grows from keeping those illegal aliens. It's like they're not going to fight to keep the borders open the way Biden did.
No. I don't know. I mean, you're starting to sell me on this situation. But it's still such a dangerous nuclear option without some sort of safety net or guardrails, or whatever you want to call it, right? Eventually the tide will turn. That's just the nature of politics. So you better be prepared for the consequences of this.
All right. Uzalian, I'm behind in my rants here. Says, Joe, they also can't use it because in January they got to get around that law that would require a 2% cut on almost everything. The only filibuster that should be allowed is them standing up there talking. That's the other filibuster I explained.
Yeah.
And he also says, Joe, I hate John Kennedy, but he's 100% right, and everyone should back him. Let's see what he says. Let's see what
All
John
right.
Kennedy. We'll see what I think this is on point here. So let me pull this up, this link that he shared here.
Mr. President, I'm going to be uncharacteristically brief. Tomorrow I will be bringing two bills before the Senate. They both have to do with the shutdown and Congressional Bay. The first bill is the No Shutdown Paychecks Act. The second bill is the Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. The first bill would provide that as long as we're shut down, and I'll explain why in a moment, as long as we're shut down, no member of Congress can be paid. And the money will not be reimbursed at a later date or repaid at a later date. The second bill, to address any 27th Amendment concerns, will say during the shutdown, members of Congress will not receive their pay, but their pay will be escrowed and they will receive it after the government is opened back up.
Okay.
Look, we're in day 36. I, like you, Mr. President, I've heard a lot of rumors about we're that close to reaching an agreement. We've been that close for a week. Frankly, I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think we're really that close. I wish we were, and I hope we are. But I think we're going to be in the shutdown a while longer. That doesn't give me any joy to say that. In the meantime,
It gives you joy. You're gonna win $10 from me.
I was about to make that joke. Thank you, Kennedy. I appreciate that,
and none of
brother.
our
Should have betted that
staffs
grand,
are
shouldn't
being
I?
paid. No federal employees are being paid. I got some numbers in this morning that federal workers have had to borrow $365 million so far during this 36-day shutdown in order just to pay their rent. Our military is only being paid partially. Our air traffic controllers are not being paid. People who receive SNAP payments are only being partially paid. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody go hungry in America, and that's not a partisan statement. I think that's a bipartisan statement. There's precedent for this, Mr. President. Some may say, well, this violates the 27th Amendment. I don't think it does. That's why I'm offering two different flavors of bills. But in 2013, President Obama did the same thing that I'm doing now. They were in a shutdown, and President Obama supported legislation that said, if you don't open up government by this certain date, then you're going to lose your paychecks. And guess what? Members of Congress had an epiphany, and they found religion. They had a Damascene moment, and they opened up government.
I love it.
And that's all this bill will do. I'm not trying to grandstand. I wasn't going to bring this bill. When I got back here Monday, I heard all the rumors like everybody else that we were close. And I hope we are close, but we're not close enough. And so I'll offer these bills tomorrow, and people can vote yay or they can vote nay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Nice. And in case you're wondering, he referenced the 27th Amendment there. That is, no law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall intervene. So that's why he's saying we'll put it in escrow until such time. So this way it's not a violation of the 27th Amendment when they, and yeah, so that's what he's recommending. God bless Senator Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana.
Yeah.
UB Real says you need to move the senator's election back to an appointment by the governors. Isn't that what our Constitution was originally? That's correct. That's correct. Yes. I was hoping we'd hit the goal because I really want to call in and talk religion with you all as a baby Christian who just returned to church since Charlie's assassination. Well, we're getting our way there. I'm sorry we didn't hit the goal. Are we at the 2-hour mark? I think we're getting close.
We're close. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? We could still hit the goal. We could still hit the goal. So you never know. Filibuster has always been obnoxious because that function is already in the Constitution by means of having a bicameral Congress. Has always been obnoxious because that function is already in the Constitution by means of having a yeah. So in that sense, he's like, it's not like you have to pass just one majority. You need two majorities. If it only takes a majority to get rid of the filibuster, then couldn't they vote to get rid of the filibuster and then vote to put it back in October 31st of 2026? Well, they would do it probably on January 1st of 2027. But, because that's when the new House would come in. They don't come until the January 3rd. So they could, in theory, the Senate rules are run by the Senate. They're not by statutes. But in theory, you could pass it. In theory, there could be a statute which would dictate how the Senate will operate. To the goal. Here we go. I told you, T-Rex. I told you, T-Rex. Sometimes it comes in down the stretch here. Roll Tide. There you
Roll
go.
Tide.
Roll Tide. See, I make it like you get a little incentivized there. We're gonna start talking some religion right now. So I saw someone asking me to comment about the Nick Fuentes interview by Tucker Carlson. Did you watch that interview?
I did not watch that interview, but
Neither did I. I haven't. People ask me to comment on it, and I haven't.
And next time somebody asks you to comment on something like that, shoot me a text message. I'll take some time out of my busy schedule, and I'll do the homework for you.
Will you?
Yeah, why not? I co-host on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's something like that, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, what if I asked you to get me links on a particular topic?
Oh, yeah, I should be able to help you with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I was like, hey, should I ask him to do that? I was like, I'll just do it myself. Some of these links came courtesy of Jim Satala. Is he live?
Love him. One of my best friends.
Is he live right now?
Let me go check.
Yeah, I forgot to post a notice. I was wondering why the numbers were down. I forgot to post a notice. That could have been it.
No, he is not live right now. Has he got anything coming up? No, he doesn't have anything scheduled. Wow.
He wasn't sure if he was going to go tonight.
Oh yeah, he went like 6 hours last night. So
he wasn't sure if he was going to go tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he is getting a new computer. So.
Oh, right. I know he had the whole thing with that, but whatchamacall. Vivian's coming on strong for the pink eye. It's not pink eye.
Thank you, Vivian. He really needs help. He does have conjunctivitis, which if you know how you get that, Joe needs to wash his hands more.
So self-conscious.
Being a little Jewish with not purchasing more hand soap. Just saying.
I'm very
being very tight.
Now. I'm very self-conscious now.
Are you? Why are you so self-conscious about it? It happens to everybody, mainly children who don't wash their hands. Usually doesn't happen to a lot of adults.
Yesterday was really disgusting. Like my eye was like.
I've got to go back and and see that now. I really have to.
It was. I
really have to. I was super busy. I didn't get to watch any streams because I went on 2 streams last night. Doing promotion for some guys' comic books that I know of, and so I didn't get a chance to do it. So now I will go back and watch that and make tons of jokes next week. So
yeah, it was. You're
either gonna have to delete the stream or expect tons of jokes.
For those of you who missed just how bad my eye was yesterday, I'll share it with you. I don't have shame about that. You know,
the hand washing fund, everybody, to get Joe more hand soap.
You can sort of see it. You can see how my eye was just sort of, oh my gosh, it was really bad. Okay, this is no.
The glare in your eye tells me everything. That you're just so.
What is that?
Really... Did somebody just say, "Oh, what was that?"
Yeah, that was me playing from yesterday. This was me yesterday. Of misery. That's what socialism is. It is a commitment toward misery. Our goal is that everyone will be miserable. Shut up.
You look like you have palsy.
Buy some meat, king of bit tongue.
What? The bad part is, it looks like the palsy was in the good side, though. How did it raise? Joe, I don't think you got an abrasion on your eye. I just think you might be suffering from a little pink eye.
I really, at like 6 o'clock yesterday, I really just wanted to call in sick and not come on the air. Like it was.
I don't
really
know if
bad
you can
yesterday.
Call in sick when you're the owner of the show.
I was just gonna be like, look, I was in so much agony. My optometrist basically, he was like, okay,
wash your hands.
He's like, take 4 Advil. Hey, that's what he said. He's like, he said take 3, and if you need a 4th one, take a 4th one, and 2 Tylenol. And I just pop.
Yeah,
because I was just in agony. I was in agony. Yeah. All I could think about, I was like, when I come into a show, you know this because you host shows, and people probably assume it, but they don't really think about it. Your whole mood has to be like up. Well, if I
Yes,
come
it has
out
to be.
here
No, you're
flat,
right. Yeah.
there's no point to coming. So if the
Mhm.
entire time I'm just sitting there, just like, down and like in pain or like just whatever, what am I doing? I'm just delivering a weak product, which is going to
Yeah.
new viewers, new people come in and check it out, be like, he sucks.
Yeah,
So
especially
like,
if you're hosting, right? Like what you
yeah,
do, and even a show like we do on Wednesdays, where it's both of us, our energy has to be up. But if you're on a panel and you're just kind of riding in the back seat,
right.
that's
Then it's
different.
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%,
but
100%.
like
When I'm flying
what we
solo like that,
do, yeah, your energy has to be there, and if you're not feeling good,
right. Right. It's
bad
just
show.
like, or if you're feeling like you're in pain, it's
Yeah,
just like, so yeah, that really numbed the pain. It was very, very helpful.
it's still a little puffy. When I zoomed in on the
No,
StreamYard,
yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah, I
It is a
closed out
little.
the chat and look. Yeah, it's still a little.
It's still a little bit something. It's still
Yeah.
like every once in a while my eye starts tearing.
Are you?
So,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that it'll just get better and
I
better.
think you should
So,
probably just wash your hands more and maybe
yeah.
buy a
So,
little more toilet paper.
what does that mean?
I'm just
What's
saying you
why
should look up
you're
how
saying
you
toilet
get.
paper fund?
You
What
should
is
probably
this?
look up how you get pink eye. Okay,
I didn't have pink eye. Is
bro,
abrasion.
that's pink eye.
Brian Oldenkamp telling me,
That's a Chad King move right there. No
yeah,
message.
yeah, and he did that. This is a second one of his.
Oh wow, where'd it go?
Yeah,
Brian?
he's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Brian is awesome. Gobadan saying, "Let's talk religion." He's got the pulse.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing when like I said, I closed the chat and I pulled you up and I zoomed in. It looked like you had. Don't touch it. Stop touching it. Get your finger out of your eye, Joe.
Oh,
I'm gonna put gloves. I'm gonna put mittens on you.
FUX Alabama LSU Death Valley. Evening, Joe. How's your eye? Sorry I'm late. Missed the first hour. Well, welcome,
Come
my
on,
brother.
Dick. That's mean. Roll Tide.
If you do scratch your cornea, I just wait for the scab to form. That's a lovely sensation. I don't know what that even means. That sounds horrific and horrible. But guess what? I can say to you now,
What is that?
go!
Oh, good job. Wait, thank you so much, Chad. I mean, Joe abuses me and has a shot collar on me and pays me nothing, but thank you, Chad.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys are here, you can also hit the like. I'd appreciate that too, by the way.
I
Hit the
clicked
like
in
and
on my
subscribe
own account
buttons.
and hit like. Yeah,
Yeah, if you can do that, I'd be much obliged. Because
be mighty white of you.
I
That'd be
have like
nice.
all of 282 likes. It's shameful. It's
Yeah,
shameful.
Jim's ratio on his show for likes is amazing. I think
Is
he
it?
shames his audience. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Hit the freaking like, you losers. You
No, he's
stinkers.
not doing it like that. You gotta be a little more passive aggressive with it.
Look, I understand some people are too lazy to hit the like button. You
No,
know, I
no,
understand.
it's a little
It's
more
all
like,
the way
hey,
over. It's all you have
guys,
to move your
look,
thumb
Chad,
all the way over to
Chad,
the left.
listen to me.
It's very, very hard. It's very tough. But if you can manage to do it, it would be
ruining
doing
it.
me a favor. If you can just do that.
If you could just stop being big fat lazy people and click the like button. Is that what you're trying to say? Look, Chad,
if you can manage to do
look,
that.
I understand not everybody can do a super chat, and we definitely appreciate that. That's wonderful.
But everyone
what you
can hit the
do,
like.
and it costs you nothing, is just go up there and hit that like button. Just do that. It helps us in the algorithm. It tells people that you like us, and then YouTube says, "Oh, they like these guys," and then more people will come in, and the cult will grow.
Yeah.
Don't you want a bigger cult?
Don't you want it to grow?
And then we can hopefully have more super chatters, which then can buy Joe actual hand soap.
I'm done with that. So I was actually trying to do something else.
And you did it by accident, but then good recovery. Next time, don't tell them what you did.
Yeah, I wanted to share something else with you. So this is what because you mentioned how some people are too big, fat, and lazy.
I did. You were saying, don't put that on me.
That's what you were talking about over there.
I swear to God, Joe, the sandbagging is at astronomical levels sometimes.
Yeah. So I learned a lot about the fat community.
Oh
today.
gosh, what do you?
I learned a lot about the fat community today. Before we get
I've got
into
that
religion.
same haircut. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful. It's a beautiful man.
That's a beautiful
woman thing. Handsome
So
broad.
apparently, there's different levels of fat oppression, of fat
There's
victimhood.
different levels of
There's
fat
different levels of
oppression.
fat victim. Did you know
weird.
this? Did you
No.
know that?
No,
You didn't know that there's different levels of fat victimhood?
no, I'm not a fatty, so
So that's what you say.
that's
So
what I could be in a lower rung and just don't know it.
yeah, well, apparently there are rungs in the fat victim Olympics,
Got you.
which that's the only type of Olympics these folks will ever be.
Good one, Joe. Way to go, man.
I gotta remember that one. That was pretty good.
Write
That was
it
pretty
down.
good. I just sort of note the timestamp to myself. Yeah, so that was a 205. So yeah, this is in case you want to know about the different levels here.
I would love to now.
You need to know.
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So it's based on your shirt size. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat. 3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. Is based on
Super fat. This I need a superhero called Super Fat.
ridiculous.
I want to see a superhero called Super Fat.
Let me
This
send
is-
this to my team right now. Let's see what I can get going. Hold on.
There's more. Because she's going to explain to you why this is. It's not just No. There's different levels of victimhood here. She needs you to understand.
what level of privilege you have in the world. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane, but someone in a mid fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's
Oh my God.
Oh my god. Oh. I don't know why they call it I guess it's like, there's like they should be more creative with the names.
This
should be like-
is wild. This is
It-
amazing.
There should be like mildly fat, McFat.
I'm bringing this up on my show Friday. Oh, this is so good.
Hold on. So it's when the extenders don't work, I want the entire conversation, not just this 30 seconds,
Yeah, I'm looking
may
for
not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in, and like the privilege levels of like
You're so privileged that you have airplane extenders.
You're so privileged. You have to use a seatbelt.
You privileged.
You privileged piece
You-
of shit.
You're
Look at you. You disgust me. No.
You make me sick.
You
How you're
make
so
me sick.
privileged that those you're so privileged, Robin. How those airplane extenders just fit over that lard of yours.
I'm so jealous of her. She only has to use 2 extenders. Skinny bitch. I can't.
Oh my gosh. You don't even appreciate
what fat means to different people.
You don't even know what being fat means when those extenders work for you. You're one of the people who fits in the airplane aisle. You sicken me, you
make me
privileged,
you disgust
you
me.
privileged slob. It's unbelievable. You don't need to walk sideways into Walmart.
Stop.
You sick, disgusting privilege.
Oh no.
What are we
it's
even
so-
talking about here? Yeah. So,
Oh.
or they should go with, they're so into like the whole furry things, the left. They can go into like, being animals. There's like hippo
Yes.
fat, orca fat.
They could branch into the furry fandom like that. Yeah, they really could.
The
Lord.
two sectionals fat.
Oh, Brenda, so privileged. You know, she still has the doors.
Oh
She
my
still
God.
has the doors inside of her house. Can you believe that,
It's
skinny bitch?
unbelievable. Yeah. Garage door fat.
She can barely fit in her bathtub. Me,
So,
I have to
yeah.
always take a shower.
So
She
please.
disgusts me.
It's just awful. So yeah, that's what he was saying. If you can't manage to get your fat thumb over to the like button, maybe you're part of
That's
the.
not what I said. That's what you were saying.
Maybe
I was saying
maybe you're
chat,
part of the orca
chat,
fat
look,
community.
I understand that,
not
like,
just
you know, a
simply
lot of
extra
people
fat.
aren't as privileged as Joe.
You're not a
and
1X
as
or
rich as
double
Joe,
X.
and you can't. You know, not everybody could do a super chat, and we really do appreciate those. Thank you so much. But what you can do that is free is hit the like button, and that really means a lot more to me personally, because Joe abuses me and yells at me for nothing. So
you're supposed to be putting seats. You're supposed to be putting butts in the seats.
Let's get them butts in the seats, cynic.
or if you're one of those people who can't manage to get your fat thumb over there, in a couple of seats, a seat per cheek. So if you scratch your corny, I'll just wait for this. We got this. I got pink eye from touching Joe's like. That's funny.
Oh man,
that's very funny. Dang, Joe, now my eyes hurts. No. Gabriel Iglesias already gave us the fat scale. It's big, healthy, husky, fluffy, and damn. This is not funny. It's painful. Stop it, kids. I'm sorry. I was just sharing the blame Libs of TikTok. She shared that out, and I was like, I have to lock that away and share with my audience.
I'm gonna have to DM Libs of TikTok now and get her to send me the whole video, because I need that whole video.
I don't think she has. I think people share with her like clips that she just shares. That's what I assume.
I mean, do people share clips with you? They do that with me, and I'm like, can I have the whole clip, please?
Sometimes I'll get that. There's a few people who are like my regulars. There's a couple of people who send me. I'm not going to talk about that. That's just going to make me.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. What are you doing? Don't do that. I don't even know what you're going to talk about, but
I know you don't know what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, so don't do that.
Unless
I know, you shouldn't be. We need to
talk about religion. This is what people have been paying for. They want to hear us talk about religion. Let's talk about religion. Okay. So let's just do that. Let's just do that. Now, religion has been coming up a lot in a lot more than it has over the last like 10 years or so. Then perhaps you can make the argument that religion is playing more of a central role in the political discourse than it has since the 60s, when, it sort of was chased out, like, and it's been brought up by a lot of what people call the woke right, where they've been like, basically they started that whole thing where, what was it, Jesus is king or something, that like, that was like, this became like a thing.
We discussed it last week.
Right. And which became like a mantra, kind of like Black Lives Matter. There's it certainly has come up with respect to people talking about the Jews. I know there's been a big return to Jewish faith from a lot of Jews since October 7th.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
And strengthening there, a lot of evangelicals in their, basically
the Charlie Kirk
influencing thing. The Charlie Kirk assassination has certainly inspired a lot more people to make Turning Point USA much bigger than it ever was, and to focus on the religious perspectives of Turning Point USA. And stories that relate to religion end up playing a more central role also, whereas they really got short shrift, and there's more of a focus on trying to, that we see people talking about and concern for religious persecution. And you can even say that, to the extent the IDF was in their excursions into Gaza, so that made this whole thing about, Muslim kids, and is this a genocide, which is also in so many ways touching on the whole religious element that people are that there's a focus on Islam, on Judaism, and especially on Christianity. The Nick Fuentes thing, where he's on Tucker Carlson, which was a very question, there's been all sorts of backlash about the fact that Tucker Carlson had him on. I don't have a problem with Tucker Carlson having Nick Fuentes on his channel. He can have on whoever the hell he wants to have on. Do I think that Nick Fuentes hates Jews? Yes, I think he doesn't like Jews.
Yeah,
it's his right.
That's his shtick.
It's part of his shtick. I do think he's a Fed. The only two people who seemed to not be arrested on January 6th were Ray Epps and Nick Fuentes. So, and we know you didn't have to be in the city to for them to dig up charges on you, because Ricky Antiveros got 20 years without even when he was in Baltimore on January 6th. This guy was standing right outside the Capitol with a bullhorn and nothing. It's shocking. It's very, very shocking. That they didn't try and get him for inciting people or ratcheting up the level. Why wouldn't when they're trying to find and invent new laws to put grandmothers in jail, and there's nothing against him? So I do think, I think that his history is very strange. The cat dating and stuff like that. And I think he's a Fed. I think he's a Fed, and I think that he basically was, and if not like a federal agent, we know that there are different types of sources that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like different related sources, the same way people had all these different speculations about what was Epstein. If he's not a federal agent, then maybe he's a source. He's what I think I saw Mike Benz talking about, how they have certain parties who are not technically agents, but they're of interest based on affiliations and assistance that they can help facilitate on behalf of federal agencies. And I think he definitely has some level ties there. I've never even heard him deny it. Maybe he has, and I missed it. But all that aside, so I do think the notion of having some instigator out there who is continually bashing Jews is consistent with some of the wag the tail type of, let's try and catch folks who are now doing things to Jews, like have him inspire them and sort of like catch them.
Okay.
So maybe he personally doesn't really hate Jews. He's just part of his shtick. I don't know. I do know that he does. I know it seems like he's purposefully trying to inspire hatred toward Jews.
Okay.
Whether or not he hates Jews, whether he's a Fed, it almost doesn't matter. He definitely seems to be trying to inspire a hatred of Jews. So he's, in that sense, I think that I take particular offense to it. But if he was inspiring hatred of black people, and to the extent he does that, I think it's equally disgusting and gross. And he does that. He inspires like a sort of, you see some of the Groypers, which are followers of Nick Fuentes, who basically would go to Tucker. They would. You can find many clips of people who would be screaming about how great Nick Fuentes is and about how we need to reestablish a white America, and and that's what the Constitution was always about, and these twisted revisionist histories that they have as to what the founding fathers were. And Charlie Kirk would basically tell them to go F themselves and get the hell. He would yell at them, school them, tell them how stupid they were, and throw them out. Properly so, to Charlie Kirk's credit. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's inspiring. And Tucker Carlson's coming along here and basically saying, oh, tell me your views. And I don't have a problem with him doing that. I don't feel an obligation that I have to watch it. Like, it doesn't inspire me based on who you're bringing in there. I can be like, I don't know if I really care about what you're talking about if this is what you're trying to watch. This is what you think is like important and relevant and time sensitive or significant conversations. The same way if he was bringing in people who are talking about space aliens, controlling Trump's brain, and he thought that was relevant, I'd be like, I don't need to watch that either. Like, I think it's stupid. The only reason I would watch it at all is because people in my audience will ask me questions about it, predictably, as some have. But as far as, so it's Tucker's right to do it. And I agree that Mamdani hates Jews also, by the way. I agree with you on that 100%. The hatred of Jews is there's no monopoly of that from one party. I think there's much more hatred of Jews from the left than the right. There's a much bigger concentration of hatred of Jews from the left than there is from the right. My personal experience. I think there's a loathing, and it's often a self-loathing of other people who have Jewish DNA, which is sad, but there is a deep loathing. So I'm not sitting here and that's fine, and that doesn't make Jews victims just because there are people out there who hate them. I want to be clear about that also. It's a big mistake. I'm acknowledging that exists without saying that doesn't make us victims, because God bless the United States of America that we're in a country which doesn't, certainly by law, tolerate abuse on that level. I hate the Jonathan Greenblatts of the world who sit there, crying like Chicken Little every time someone puts a meme that seems like, makes a joke about the Holocaust, and all of a sudden he starts, throwing a hissy fit. I think that's stupid, childish, un-American, and it only hurts the American perspective of Jews. The same way if someone was complaining about Thailand, making a joke about Taiwanese people and make a joke about Thailand, I'd be like, about Taiwan, I'd be like, why? Like, you're an idiot. And that's not making me like people from Taiwan more, or Thailand.
Yeah.
And I know they're two different countries.
Doesn't
nothing in the comments. So I don't. There's a lot of talk about people canceling Tucker. I think he's very. I don't consider him someone who hates Jews. I consider him. He's more like sort of like adjacent in that sort of perspective.
Mhm.
That he's very comfortable with people who are very obvious in their promoting animus toward Jews. He's very comfortable with them. So, but that doesn't make him an anti-Semite, and I don't think he is. If you ask me my opinion on Tucker Carlson, I wouldn't. Some people have come to me saying, "Oh, he's a terrible anti-Semite." And my personal opinion is, I don't think that Tucker Carlson is. I would not classify him in that sort of way. And if someone's an anti-Semite, that's his right as an American to hate Jews, and it's the question is what they do, as long as they're not doing anything with those actions. So that's their perfect legal perspective. Racism, however gross it is, that's part of the beauty of America, is that we tolerate ugly perspectives. So that being but the point that I'm making is, in ratcheting up that hatred or ratcheting up that anger, there does seem to be more of a fixation on religion. That's, and from my perspective, an unhealthy promotion of Christianity compared to the very healthy promotion of Christianity that comes from Turning Point USA. These are two different sources promoting Christianity. I'm telling you this, someone who's a non-Christian looking at how Christianity is becoming like a bigger deal in our culture and in our politics. So those are two like almost opposing forces that are, because Turning Point USA is very much into recognizing the need to respect people who are not Christian, and that's why as opposed to, so you have the woke right, and then you have the Charlie Kirks of the world, like who I consider like real MAGA, like real American values, and I do think that's what I think of when I think of MAGA. I think of the Charlie Kirk perspective. And then you have this people falling in love with Islam and the extensive tolerance that the left has for Islam, and then what seems like a very unholy marriage between queers and Islam, which is almost that is just mind-boggling how stupid the left can be in not recognizing that that given the opportunity, they will literally beat the crap out of you on the street. And how stupid they are in thinking, oh, if we show them love, they're going to be nice to us. Idiots. But the point is, there's a growing tolerance for Islam in this country. We see it, the election of a Muslim mayor 24 years after 9/11. And we have election of a Muslim mayor in New York City itself. So there's that. And there's also more fixation about stories affecting. Why is this not playing for me? There's more stories. There's more fixation on stories and things developing where people are sort of feeling a connection to their religion. Did you hear the story of Nicki Minaj?
No. What happened with Nicki Minaj? Somebody had mentioned it, but I didn't. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest with you, when I was on Discord a couple days ago.
No worries.
Or a day or so ago.
No worries. So Nicki Minaj shocked the left by taking a very base perspective.
It takes courage to come out, if you're Nicki Minaj, and endorse Trump in this way. And it's so beautiful to see her care about this issue and really promote this issue. I want to turn to an issue, a little more tragic matter. I talked about it a little bit at the end of the show yesterday, but beyond domestic politics, Christians are being very, very seriously persecuted in Nigeria. We've talked about this on the show a number of times. I've posted about it to social media a number of times. Trump is talking about it. Trump posts, quote, Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. This designation, with the State Department. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 31,000 versus 4,476 worldwide, something must be done.
3,100.
I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore. Riley Moore is great. Together with Chairman Cole, love Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. I love this. I love this for a number of reasons. Not the least of which is it does vindicate my view of Donald Trump. When Donald Trump says he's America first, some people hear that and they say that means he's an isolationist. That means he's an ardent nationalist. No, I've long said Trump is an imperialist. He recognizes America's role throughout the world, and he wants to, in his good judgment, in his practical prudential judgment, he wants to preserve America's capital. He wants to maintain the world order. He wants to establish peace. He wants to prioritize American citizens over everyone else, but he doesn't.
I don't want to go through the whole 9 minutes here. I do want to get to where Nicki Minaj came in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So let's jump forward to that.
Nicki Minaj writes, reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. Love it. It takes courage to come out, if you're Nicki Minaj, and endorse Trump in this way. And it's so beautiful to see her care about this issue and really promote this issue. What is very interesting about this, from the analysis of the left and the right and the change.
She got so much heat for supporting Trump.
Well, of course, you're not allowed
Right.
to.
Right. Like people, and she lashed back at it. Instead of wilting, she actually stood up to it. I'm not sure if he shares
scope of the right. The right loves to be navel gazing and introspective and
whatever. So I'm not. I mean, Michael Knowles is okay. I got no problem with Michael Knowles. I don't know if he shares her response to a tweet where someone said something like, "Where." Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Some people are asking who is Nicki. Nicki Minaj is a rapper, a female rapper who actually Ben Shapiro was making fun of a couple years ago about how abrasive her music is and how
Well, that wasn't Nicki Minaj. That was the other one.
Yes, it was. It was both of them. They were both on that song.
No, it was that other black woman, the other black rapper.
Cardi B.
Yeah, Cardi B, I think.
I thought it was. I thought she did a remix of it or something. Either way, Nicki Minaj is in the same vein of Cardi B and
Are you talking about the WAP? Are you talking about the WAP?
Yeah. Was she not on? I thought she did a remix.
I thought that was.
Either way,
I thought that was Cardi B.
I don't listen to a lot of rap. Yeah, she does do. She's a rap musician and very vulgar. A lot of her music. So, people wouldn't think that she would support Donald Trump.
They wouldn't
but also,
think that
she isn't. She is under the record label that Lil Wayne is, and Lil Wayne is a very big Donald Trump fan. So
maybe I don't know about the relationships there that they have, but this is
well, I was thinking she was on WAP.
So
maybe that was my internal racism, thinking all rappers sound the same.
Nicki Minaj, why is this?
Yeah, she is from Trinidad. Trinidadian? Yeah.
She's from Trinidad?
Well, her family at least is, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to find why it is that
somebody says she's very intelligent. Oh yeah, she definitely is a very smart person. But
why is it that when I'm trying to find where they say Nicki Minaj responds to trolls' appearance critique? That's not what I was looking for. Nicki Minaj. Let me see. Latest. When she responded to a troll, she basically was like, "You were never a fan. I don't give a damn about, someone said I used to be a super fan, but now I can't be a fan of yours any longer." And she's like, "You were never a fan, and I really don't care. And if you think that it's okay that they're killing Christians, then you're the one who's like basically twisted and sick in the head. And God bless President Trump." Like she's doubled down and tripled down. Like she was like, "I'm not going nowhere on this issue." So the reason I brought up Nicki Minaj in this context is because I just thought it was it was interesting to see that she's siding with someone who everyone considers to be the devil, because of her affinity for her concern for her religion, right? I mean, people of her faith people being persecuted for their faith, and then we have this other story, which was brought
we just discovered,
which was brought by Mr. Reagan, where he shares his perspective on Trump and what might be motivating Trump these days. And he has an interesting take. I'm not going to steal all of his work. I've met Mr. Reagan. I happen to be a fan of his since before I had this channel. So meeting him was actually kind of a little thrill for me because he was one of the people who inspired me to make my channel. So have you ever heard of Mr. Reagan before?
No, I don't think so.
His name is Reagan. Like, so he lays into the fact that he shares a name with the last base president we had before Trump. So here he is talking about Trump's motivation.
a little confused. Comments about getting in to heaven.
You know, if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons.
And before you dismiss this as just Trump being Trump, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed that he was serious. She said, I think the president was serious. I think the president wants to get to heaven, as I hope we all do in this room as well. Now, this popped up in the news again a little later when Peter Doocy asked President Trump about it. And Trump shrugged it off as a joke, saying that he doesn't really have a chance of getting into heaven.
You had talked a couple of weeks ago, you were doing an interview, and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, you know, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people.
But was Trump joking? I don't actually think so.
I don't think so either.
I think that this is a real motivation for Donald Trump. And I think it.
So I'll ask you, do you think that it's 100% a joke, or that like on some level he's telling the truth there? He's being honest.
No, I think he's being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't
why do you
sound
say
like
that?
he's being disingenuous when he first said it. And I do think now that it's he's in front of cameras, that he's trying to be a little coy on the situation. Yeah. Downplay it a bit because,
Yeah, I agree with you. And I do think like that it's a really interesting thing. It's a very common thing in older people. You know, he's 79 years old, right?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, he's not someone who he's I'm sure that his doctors have told him to lose weight, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, so being overweight is not something that is usually something that leads towards a longer lifespan. So, as far as like he probably feels like he's within a couple of decades of meeting his maker, and God help him that I hope he lives I hope God blesses him with many years of perfect health, many decades of perfect health after he finishes his term. But and if he ever watches this, I'm telling you right now, I'm positive that man is going to heaven. and that doesn't mean he hasn't done things that are terrible in his life. I'm sure he has.
Mhm.
But I also know that, the role he's played here has shown a fortitude that has genuinely helped people. So, that's my personal take on it. But
Yeah.
but the notion that it's something that should make people feel happy, even if you're on the left, that, if you think he's a narcissist and he's motivated, that he wants to get to heaven. This is one of the things that Mr. Reagan points out later in the video. So I'll give credit where credit's due. That, and I think Mr. Reagan is correct on this, that you have to think to yourself, if his objective is to do things that he thinks God would find pleasing and make, God happy. So
Mhm.
he's going to be motivated to be doing good things to help people. So that should give you encouragement that even if he's a narcissist, or even if you think that his motivations are, if you're not someone who's religious, you think his motivations are silly, it still should give you some sort of feeling like, hey, like if that's on his agenda, that's a factor there. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing it with what you would presume is a Christian heart, because he's not Jewish. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it if he's trying to do good deeds for the world, and his perspective is, you know, through a Christian lens, I guess you would say.
Oh, well, Jews believe that Christians can get to heaven. So one of the distinctions we have between Christianity and Judaism is
Mhm.
Christians. I know that many Christians believe Jews can't get to heaven because of rejection of Jesus, and Jews think that no, you don't need to be. So basically, you have to accept Jesus in order to get to heaven as a prerequisite.
Repent and yeah.
Right. And we had a conversation about this last week, whereas Jews believe you don't need to be Jewish to get to heaven.
Okay.
And you shouldn't become Jewish if you're not Jewish, you should stay with your faith and you should still love and appreciate God. And basically, and I think I talked to you about the 7 Noahide laws last time you were here, right?
Yes.
So I don't want to waste everyone's time by reviewing that. But, yeah, so the idea that but it's interesting to me how religion is becoming such a predominant thing as far as a motivating factor, whether you're talking about Nick Fuentes and the whole Jesus is king thing, or, or people now having concerns for Christians in other countries. These are not things that we really heard that much about this century. And my question for you, and I guess for the audience as well, is I'm going to be opening up the phone lines in a moment as promised, is why? Why would that be? Why do you think that would be, that this would be coming? What that has happened do you think to make things different now that people are starting to look to turn toward God? Assuming that premise is correct, that more people are turning toward God now to their own God. Why would that be happening now? Why is this a time that you think that this is arising?
I think my base sensibilities, just my initial knee-jerk thought would be, one, a lot of people are thinking of their mortality. One for Christians, for example, would be the Charlie Kirk thing, the attempted assassination of Trump, not once but twice. People forget that other guy was caught before he even made it close. And just seeing that things have gone so awry over the past 10 years, I would say. At least the last 5 years have gone so crazy, that a lot of people are looking towards God for answers, or religion for answers, because it feels like a lot of times, there's an uneasy feeling in this world right now. A lot of people are struggling financially. A lot of people are struggling with, tons of different things going on. And I think that people are seeking some sort of solace, and religion does that for people. It does it for me. My faith is something that when I am not feeling, we were talking about being on point for a show earlier. when I'm not feeling right for a show, I have a quiet moment and I pray, hey, let me do a good show. You know, as selfish as that may sound, right? It's still something that that
I
I
don't think
do.
that's selfish at all.
Mm.
I don't think that's selfish at all.
But go ahead.
No, I mean, it's. I mean, how I don't know how that would. Why would you even use the word selfish? Why would you use that word?
It's more self-serving is the way I feel, right? Because it's just maybe some sort of like Baptist guilt or something like that, you know, like to be more giving and, you know, pray for other people more than you pray for yourself. But no, like that's what I do. I find a lot of peace in my religion and in my time with God. And I think a lot of people nowadays are seeking that out. I've got a nephew who's been doing that. He's going to college. He's stressed out. You know, he's got a job. He's got a girlfriend and all these things. And, you know, he's starting to ask me questions of faith and starting to turn that direction. And that's a young man's perspective, an 18-year-old kid. And I just think it's across the board. A lot of people have felt hopeless for a while on a bunch of things.
And you feel like turning to religion is what's going to give them like hope.
I think a lot of people think that's the case, and I think it does. Because, like I said, I find a lot of hope in my faith. That's how I'm always really upbeat about a lot of things. Is taking time to pray and, you know, reading my Bible and going, all right, you know what, He's got me. At the end, no matter what, God's goal for me is to be happy in some shape, form, or fashion. I may not know what it's going to be, how it's going to be, but His goal is for me to.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
I agree with that 110%. Jesse Waters interviewed Eric Kirk and aired tonight. I cry like a baby. God bless her. Yeah, God bless her indeed. I agree with a lot of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you know, it's sort of akin to the whole concept there's no atheists in a foxhole. That to a degree, people feel as if we're in a foxhole now, in the sense of like, you know, the despair as to the condition and the state of the world. So, and I actually think that that's part of the reason God allows the world to unfold into despair is that people will turn toward God.
Yeah.
So, and we also, you know, there's an old phrase, you know, hard men make good times make soft men
make hard times.
Yeah, exactly. And that there's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
cycle like that. And I think God
Yeah.
has orchestrated that cycle to be there so that when people become self-indulgent and become weak, that there's more of that despair and that they ultimately will turn to Him. And you talked about your Baptist upbringing and how that it makes you feel guilty for praying for help for yourself. I will point out to you, if you look in Genesis, in I want to say around chapter, I'm gonna guess around chapter 30. It's in the low 30s, probably around like 31 or so is when is when in a short period of time Jacob, after he marries Rachel and Leah, that Leah starts having children. And she names her children. And all the names that she gives them are designed to be an expression of gratitude to God for having given her a child. And the fourth child she has is Judah, which if you read the Torah, I don't know how it translates in the Bible, but I'm sure it's something similar. It probably isn't very much of a distinction. It says that she said, this is the time I'm going to thank God. And the reason that we say that she was saying thank you to God for that is because they knew that there was going to be 12 tribes. Like they had like prophecy that Jacob was going to have 12 sons. And she knew that he was going to have 4 wives. There are 2 servants who, you know, Bilhah and Zilpah are two maidservants that each Rachel and Leah gave him to bear children through them. Okay. So she's like, so they basically doing the math. She realized that an average would be three sons apiece, and here she's having a 4th son. So that's why she's expressing gratitude to God particular type of gratitude that this time I'm thanking him. I had 4 kids, but why now? Because it's a 4th son. So that's why she's expressing gratitude that she got more than her allotted share, so to speak. And the next passage says, and then she stopped giving birth. Like she rested, like she was popping out baby. And then she stopped giving birth. So rabbinic authorities say that it's tied into the fact that she thanked God. That she basically said, thank you, God, and didn't pray for more of them. That she basically said to God, okay, we're good now. And then when you say to God, okay, we're good now, God's like, oh, okay, you think you're good? All right, fine. So even though she's expressing gratitude, the interesting thing is this. If I ask you to do something for me and you do me a favor, you do a kindness for me. Mm-hmm. So I am going to feel inhibited from calling you the next day to do another favor for me. Because I sort of feel as if I'm taxing you. I'm burdening you through our relationship. And that's an appropriate feeling for me to have. It's a healthy type of relationship that people have with each other. Like, why are you burdening me? What am I your dad? Am I supposed to take care of your mother? Am I supposed to take care of you? Take care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
We're not even blood brothers. And the more you tax other people, some people you can tax more, you can burden more than others, like a parent or whatever, or perhaps a child when you're older, or a sibling. But like depending on the nature of relationship, there's a sort of like bank account as to how much you can burden someone else with helping you. Mm-hmm. In stark contrast to the relationship we're supposed to have with God, where when we are basically keep going back to God over and over and over and over again, for more and more and more and more, that is a form of worship. That is a form of recognition of our utter dependence on God. That is a way of recognizing his ultimate power, might, and strength, and that he is the one who controls the world. And that is how we are showing worship. So that's why I say to you, when you turn to God and say, hey, God, please help me have a good show tonight, there's nothing remotely selfish about that. That is a recognition that you are dependent upon God for every blessing and every good and positive thing that happens in your life. And that is a form of worship that you should never feel guilty or embarrassed about, but take a lesson from what we learned from the story of Leah, that her failing was that it's good to say thank you. You should say thank you to God when he gives you blessing. I thanked God for helping my eye to heal basically overnight. And it's much better than it was. But it's not enough just to say thank you. You need to say thank you so much, and I still need more from you. And asking God for more is a form of actually praising God and recognizing that you are completely in his hand. So that's the difference between your relationship between man and God versus man and his fellow man. That's my perspective. And that's why I don't think you should feel remotely guilty. You should do it every single time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to share that. I wanted to share that thought with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell you that I think that today's world has so much insecurity and destabilization. No one knows. We can't agree with the other side on anything. You feel as if half the country hates you, no matter which side you're on here. You feel as if things are devolving. We can't even define basic terms like man or woman. We make a joke about it, but it's a reality that people are like literally arguing about like very, very basic understandings that it defies reason how off its axis sanity seems to be in this world in ways that this world has never ever in its history experienced. I mean, just the basic term, like what is a woman, that's a question that has to be answered. That's a question that like people are arguing about, and genuinely like heartfelt, no, how dare you call this person not a woman? It's just like, it's an astonishing level of self-delusion, which makes us question just basic who and where we are, where our places are in the world, the security of what tomorrow will bring. When that type of chaos becomes the norm, we all feel as if the world is like a maelstrom, where it's like you don't know what's coming. People being shot for being a CEO of an insurance company, like crazy levels of hate ratcheting up, economies in continual flux, and insane type of arguments that you hear from the other side, hatred that you're like an evil person if you disagree with them, hate arguments with your own family when they disagree with you on the other side of the political aisle. There's so much turmoil that I do think the atheist in a foxhole argument you make is an important element. But I think that people, it's more than just an atheist in a foxhole. It's that religion is grounding. Like you feel as if, okay, here's a truth that I can assert, I can stand on and trust and rely. And by relying on this truth, there's much less murkiness that I feel like I'm in quicksand, that I don't even know what's true anymore because I watch the news and I don't even trust anything that I see in the news. I don't know where truth is. So people are starved for actual truth. And when they're starved for actual truth, I think it's not just a matter of turning to God because they're afraid, like an atheist in a foxhole. I think that they're desperately seeking what they can feel confident is ultimate truth. So for their own inner peace of just, this is something I can feel confident, this is true.
Yeah, they're looking for stability in uncertainty.
Yeah. So it's not just please help me, God, but it's just like, even just like the written word is something that is giving them a sense of comfort in that. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, and you can find comfort in just the black and white pages of the Bible itself, and be certain in that. You don't have to, it's never going to change. It's never going to, confuse you or conflate anything. It's there. It's very simple. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so I promise I'm going to open my phone lines for calls. The number is 972-454-0703. That's 972. Right, yeah, you come on back here. 972-454-0703. It is the time for you to hit the like and subscribe if you have not yet done that. Because let's face it, who's having conversations like this? Who? Ask yourself that. That is the number scrolling across the bottom there, and it is around that time you hit the like and subscribe button. 972-454-0703. Let me do a quick check over in locals, make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, the chat is up, MacGyver. Of course it is. No one likes hanging there anymore. I don't know what happened. I know Tyler Rex said he wanted to call in. I assume people want to talk. Sometimes that first couple of calls takes like a minute or two for folks to get on in there. And there it is. Richard. How you doing, brother? All right. How are things going with you and Jim?
All right.
Hold on. One second, Rich. I just want to make sure. Sen, you can hear them, right?
No.
You can't hear the caller. See, I don't know why. That's not. No, it's not you. You've been fine. Why is it that they're saying? I can
slightly hear him. It's weird.
You can slightly hear him? Everyone's saying no sound. This is not on you guys. It's not you. No, it's not you. It's not you. Rich, hold on a second. Why would that? How do I do this in a way that I don't want?
Somebody said there's no caller, is there, Joe?
He's saying I'm a boomer too. If you can turn down the thing in the background, that'd be helpful. Okay. Yeah, muted that in the background because it's. I got like an echo. Yeah, I still hear the echo. Why is it that you guys don't hear this? You should. Don't worry, brother. I know none of you can hear him. He's apologizing. He was giving he had the show on in the background, so it was echoing there. I am trying to figure out why this didn't work. You should have been able to hear him.
Yeah, you can hear it just slightly. I've got nothing on in the background of my house, and you can hear.
I'm not talking to you, Richard. I'll call you. I'll call you when I'll call your name when right now I'm talking to my audience. All right. So if I share screen, if I share the tab, if I do it this way, okay. And now if I did, okay. I think if I do this, all right, let's try it this way. Try talking now, Richard.
Okay.
There we go.
How's this going? If you need to give him my phone number, he can call me. I'll put him on a three-way call. We can hear everybody.
Can you hear him?
No, we got him. Yep.
Oh, you hear him now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure why that didn't take the first time, but we're good to go now. So, okay.
Okay.
Richard, what's on your mind?
How's it going, Richard?
So we're talking about religion tonight. So I'm a little nervous. I hope.
Don't be nervous.
I wouldn't say I'm worried about ruining our friendship because we really don't have a friendship. We have an acquaintance. So I hope I don't ruin our acquaintance.
Don't worry.
But, okay, so I'm an atheist Zionist.
Okay.
So I was born and raised a Southern Baptist, but I lost my faith along the way.
Okay.
I had some troubling times. I lost my faith along the way, but I got no problem. The religion saved my little brother. He was on drugs. He spent half his life in prison selling drugs, and it was finally religion. When he found religion, he finally stayed out of prison. And that's like, okay, I would never talk shit about religion to that man. I would never talk shit about anybody. Some people need that higher power, and it's like, but only reason I got a problem with, I don't mind a problem with the Buddhist or the Hindu or the anybody. I got a little problem with the Muslims because they like hate people. They want to kill people. So I got a problem with the Muslims, but anybody else, I got no problem. I'm just.
Okay. So I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know if Sin wants to try, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear Sin when he's talking. I'm concerned that you will not hear.
Can't. I guarantee you, I can't hear him. So
yeah, I was actually thinking.
I don't listen to them Alabama people anyway.
He said.
All right, fair enough.
Sin said that God's going to make you burn in hell for saying that.
That's not what I said at all.
I probably got kids older than him, and they probably whoop his ass if they run into him anyway.
Probably. Who knows?
All right.
Anyway.
So, do you have questions or anything? Or I never heard of an atheist Zionist before. That's a new one. What's the motivation for your Zionism?
Because my dislike of Muslims, but I believe that it's Judea and Samaria. Judea, that's where the Jews came from. They belong there, and that's Tal, the traveling class, taught me that's what Zionism means. It's like just believing the Jewish people deserve to return to their homeland, and I know that when you dig in the ground, you find Jewish relics. You know, you dig.
Archaeology, you're saying.
Archaeology proves that. And science. I believe in science.
All right.
Not a lot of faith. I need science. And when you dig in the ground, you find Jewish stuff, and tells me that that's who belongs there.
You find all them shekels.
Well, a lot of other shit they're finding.
I'm kidding.
I'm
kidding.
Yeah.
No, the excavations.
I was wanting to ask you. Now I got you on. Hey, I heard the Jews come out with the lasers. I was wondering when they're gonna put that into space.
It's not very religious, is it?
When they put that in space, because y'all can like.
I don't know why we
When did they-
haven't. Yeah, gosh, we should.
You got to put that in space. You need to talk to Elon Musk.
We'll
And
talk.
there's a guy that did the Oculus Rift.
I don't even understand how
Palmer
Elon's
Lucky.
not Jewish. He got all that money. How is it
Palmer Lucky.
possible?
You could protect us from the ICBMs forever. We'd be safe.
It's true.
Yeah.
We need some
man's
Jewish
right.
space lasers,
We're
dude.
gonna
What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Get your people on that shit.
You know, they'd probably be launched out of Huntsville.
I love you, man.
Take
that's
care,
in
brother. Thank
Alabama.
you so much.
Y'all have a good evening.
Have a good night. Thank you for the call. But speaking of which, you heard Marjorie Taylor Greene said she might be running for president?
No, did she really?
That's
I don't
what
know how I
Lady
feel
Logic
about
mentions
that.
to me. I didn't look for it. She has no chance.
No chance in hell. What is she doing? That was a
I
great
don't know.
call. Cynic's
Yeah.
talking over himself. Hush, sleeping.
Yeah, if you want them to hear you, they cannot hear you. The only way I can get them to hear you is literally, I guess, if you would sort of step out of studio and call into this number, and I would merge you. That sounds like
from
sounds like
Kitty
sounds
Hut.
like a lot of work.
Sounds like a bunch of work.
sounds like a lot of work, and the chances are very high. Hi, Kimmy. 1 second. The chances are very high that at some point I'll boomer and your phone number will be up on screen.
Yeah, let's
So-
not do that. I would prefer. There's a lot of people who don't like me, Joe. Okay, it's the
All
weirdest
right,
thing.
but Kimmy Hunt is not one of those people who dislikes you, right? Kimmy?
Thank you, Kimmy.
I like Sin.
All right.
Yay!
All right.
Thank you.
Well, it's,
He's okay. Can I hear him or?
you're not going to hear him, but he said
Okay.
he said he's going to send you some selfies. So
Will we stop?
No.
Why are you telling these people?
No,
okay.
Thank you,
So-
Joe.
I'm too old for selfies.
All right.
I did find out though that I'm a small fat.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. I want to know
congratulations.
if that's similar to a jumbo shrimp.
I don't know. I don't know. It could be.
I'm like, I'm a 1X. What are they talking about?
All right, you're a small fat. All right.
I'm a small fat.
There you go. There you go. All right.
I'm like, what? I'm sorry.
There's a small fat
Laugh
inside
is
all of
great.
us.
Her laugh is amazing.
There's a small me inside of my small fat. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so much to talk about tonight. Tucker.
Tucker.
I think he used a method of interview with Fuentes that was not confrontational because he didn't want Fuentes' hackles up. I think he just kind of lulled him into this sense of, hey, I'm with somebody that, you know, wants to hear what I have to say, and he just let him expose his butt to the world.
So you watched the interview.
Yeah.
And what did he say? What did Nick say? Anything that was out of the norm, or did he say anything particular that was, people would take affront at?
Oh, many things, but, you know, too many to mention. I mean, it's been about, 3 weeks ago now or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, my short-term memory is not the best. All I can say is the sense that I got from that was that he was it was almost like an interrogation where you get somebody that you suspect is guilty of a crime. And so you just kind of buddy up to them playing good cop. And it was almost like Tucker was doing this whole good cop thing. And Nick was just spilling the beans left and right. And I think he was just saying, okay, expose your ass to the whole world. And then people will realize what a hateful person you are.
Well, you could interview him, and when he says the one clip that someone shared with me was him saying, or claim, I don't even think I saw a clip, was him supposedly saying that Stalin wasn't such a bad guy, and which is lunacy.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be an idiot, and like how stupid do you have? Like, that's not even that. Nick Fuentes normally is not cited for being an idiot. That's a very stupid comment considering how many millions of Russians he killed and starved to death and the Holodomor. I mean, this guy was a friggin' monster. And to everyone, he had a universal monstrosity that he shared with everyone. He was brutal to Jews. He was brutal to Ukrainians. He was brutal to Russians. He was just a lunatic. He was really horrible. And to say he's not such a bad guy, and that people are like, and Tucker was just like, oh, okay, we'll put a pin on that and we'll come back to it, and doesn't even and then there was no pushback. That's what I saw one guy saying that he was very upset about, that there was like, he's like, if you want to do the interview, that's fine, but when he says things that are just insane, when you don't push back on it, you're like, oh wow, that's really interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. That comes across as an endorsement.
I get that does, but if you're playing good cop, you're not going to push back. You're going to want to not only expose him as a hateful, evil kind of a person, but you're also going to want to expose that he's a dumbass and stupid. And so saying, I just, that's how I viewed it. And I think that people are making way more of this than they need to. Way, way, way more of this. And I think that this infighting is trying to tear MAGA apart. I think it's a psyop. I think that there are feds involved in this. I think they're trying to rip MAGA apart.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job of it right now.
I feel like you're giving Tucker a very favorable, a very generous read. I'll just put it that way.
Okay, that's fine. And
you can. I can understand you doing that, given how much you feel like he's brought to MAGA and to exposing so much of the lunacy of the left. So I can understand people leaning towards erring in his favor. And I didn't see it to tell you you're right or you're wrong. So, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I wouldn't say erring in his favor. What I'm doing is I'm taking a wait and see attitude, because I'm sorry, that's just not, that one interview is just not going to convince me, and I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens, because how many times have we thought this is what's happening, and then 3 or 4 weeks later we realized that wasn't happening.
True.
In the past 5 years.
True. Fair enough.
So I'm taking a wait and see attitude on Tucker. My gut doesn't tell me that he's an anti-Semitic person.
Well, I gave you my feelings on that.
That you don't either. I
don't think he's anti-Semitic, but I do think he's very comfortable with people who are.
Well, he might be.
Yeah.
He might be comfortable with that.
And that's that's his right. The same way it's the right of someone to be anti-Semitic.
And it's the right of somebody to be a Zionist also.
True.
But needless to say, what I wanted to say, you had brought up religion, and you had brought up getting closer. And I think, I don't know, my whole life, I went to church every single Sunday night, and every single Wednesday for prayer meeting. And when I became a nurse, I had to work every other weekend. And my pastor told me, I've noticed you've been missing every other Sunday. And I said, yeah, I'm a nurse now, and I work every other weekend. Well, you should find another job, he said. And I said, no, I've worked hard to become a nurse. And I feel like on the Sundays that I do have to work, I can minister to people, and I consider that part of my ministry to show my, religion or faithfulness to other people with my kindness. And, he said, no, you need to find another job. And I said, well, you know what, Pastor, you work every Sunday because you're here preaching. And he didn't like that. And so it turned out I never went back to church after that. So for the past 20 years, I have church by myself at home.
Interesting.
No,
and that's
anyway,
that's a problem, that when the finding the right level of pressure, that when you have someone who's a religious authority, trying to find the right level of pressure to try and put someone that you want to sort of push them in the right direction without crushing them and chasing them off is a very it's a very challenging thing, which is not unique to Christianity.
I know.
I mean, I've seen that with Jews getting chased, from the faith because they resent the ways, they react to the way some rabbinical authority figure spoke to them. That it's a real struggle that I think that leaders of faith, irrespective of the faith, have likely always been dealing with, and probably more so now. Because there's so much more rejection of God today, the existence of God today, than there ever was. So
and I've always listened to a lot of Christian music, and I think people are coming back to God because there's a song that says, "On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand." And I think that people feel like they're in a bunch of sinking sand. And so they're trying to find that solid foundation to stand upon again. And I think that's why people are coming back to God, whether it's Jewish or Christian or whatever. But anyway, and I wanted to say to Sin, and I know I can't hear him, you have not because you ask not. That's in James. You're supposed to ask for everything you get. You have not because you ask not.
There you go.
Thank you.
So don't
Thank
feel
you so much.
selfish about asking.
Nothing
Yes, ma'am.
at all. He's saying
Okay, I'm gonna let
he's
you
saying
go.
yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Kimmy. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That concept that Christianity has of Jesus being the rock, that's actually something that's one of the things you got from Judaism about that. No, I'm saying we've been referring to God as literally the word rock. Like that word rock is part of our prayers 3 times a day.
Call from
And refer to God.
Jennifer.
I refer to God as
To
our rock.
accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Jennifer.
Hello. Wow. This is the first time I've ever done one of these. I turned my volume down just in case.
You did well.
Messes up the...
You did well.
Awesome.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. See, I'm not going to leave the studio this time. I don't know what he did to boomer it up. But hi, chat. This is now the Sin Show. It's just going to be me
Oh,
for a minute.
no. I see you. Paused.
There we go. I don't know what he's doing. I have no clue what he's doing now.
The internet god said, no. I can... you're frozen still.
This is great. All right, chat. What do we want to talk about while Joe boomers this up? Do we want to talk about his pink eye? Do we want to talk about his typewriter keyboard? What do we want to make fun of him for right now? As he's sitting here trying to figure out a computer that he does not understand. His pink eye froze up. This is fantastic. All right. Joe, your computer just died. Your internet is frozen.
No, I have it down really low. I mean, I can see that his little circle is vibrating, so that means he's speaking. Yeah, I see her.
I am trying to hold it down. Y'all can still hear her, though, right? She seems like a really good call. Now we got 10 gifted memberships. There we go. That's great. Let's see. Let me go and pull up my YouTube, and we'll take a look at these. Brian Oldenkamp, congratulations. Oh, no. He's the one that gave them out. So let's see. Nick Dev, Ara Moon, Amanda K, Craig Bolton, Audra. I saw her in Jim's chat last night. Good to see you, Audra.
Look at you. We fixed it.
There we go. Let me finish reading these. Kimby, Ken Phillips.
1 second, Jennifer.
Crominion 6045, Stephanie A, Jean Marie, Sahanis, Pin.
What are you doing, Sin?
I was reading the gifted memberships you that came in while you were frozen.
God bless you.
I do what I
Look at
can.
him.
Hey, welcome to the cult.
Dang, it's not what? No.
It's now a cult. I
cult
was
is
running
not
the
at
show
all-
and I changed everything. Yeah, I told you not to get rid of the filibuster with me.
Following 10 people were gifted memberships to the following, courtesy of Brian Oldenkamp. God bless you, Brian. That would include Nick Dev, Ara Moon, Amanda K, Craig Bolton, Audra, Kimby, Ken Phillips. God bless you and welcome, as well as Stephanie A and Jean Marie, which I think is not Pierre. So welcome to the following. God bless you. Please be aware that I am not, I say not. Joe is not at all the leader of the following. So
people are saying we already heard this.
Just the host. I don't know what y'all talking about there. I don't even know what that was. So he said I had to send something to do. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you
You're
so much.
awesome.
I appreciate it, Brian.
I've got her on the phone, Jennifer, still. So we're going to try and remedy this situation.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. That was crazy. What'd you hit?
I just lost connection, and I just.
Yeah, that happens with StreamYard and mixing with other.
You're still on hold. They don't hear you yet. I'll let you know when they hear you, Jennifer. Give me 1 second. She was all so excited that you got in here finally.
Have pink eye.
And we're ruining everything for her.
Oh, she's doing fine. She's going to be great. She's going to be fantastic.
I'm trying to figure out how to keep her. I'm trying to figure out how I can share
She has a great speaking voice.
She does have a nice. Her speaking voice is perfectly fine. I don't know why you would make fun of her.
I didn't. Why do you keep doing this to people? They're going to go back and read.
They're getting
the
mad.
show.
He's getting mad because he actually complimented your speaking voice. So he's getting mad at me now.
I wanted to ask the first guy, was he a mountain man or a swamp man, though? We didn't get to that question.
No.
I think he's from Louisiana somewhere.
I'm trying to help shield her. I don't know how to do this without pulling it up for a second. So there's no way to do it. All right, we're just going to do this real fast here. Okay.
I'm holding it away from my ear.
You all should be able to hear Jennifer now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Jennifer, go for it.
All right. Okay. So I was saying that.
Let's start over.
Yeah, I mean,
start over with your story. 'Cause
Sure.
No one
Sure.
remembers.
No one remembers that from 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
I was born in Ohio, but I live in New York City now.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I was.
I'll pray for your soul.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you. I mean, oh my God, I can't. Listen, it's a nightmare. Anyway, I digress. So my mother was Catholic, Polish Catholic, but I was raised in Protestant church, and probably didn't go much after age 15. I'm now your age. However, I did work at
You're
a kosher deli
35?
restaurant. No, yes, yeah.
27.
Yeah, so I did work at I have worked at kosher deli restaurant on the Lower East Side. So
which one?
You know, I think Noah's Ark.
Really?
But yeah.
I was thought my dad would eat there all the time. I've been there several times. Noah's
Really?
Ark. Yeah, my dad would go like every month. He loved Noah's Ark.
And there's one in Teaneck, I think, or something.
Yeah, in Teaneck.
Yep. And I did wait on Gilbert Gottfried a few times.
Oh, did
He
you?
was still alive.
Gilbert Gottfried.
He was a nice guy. Really shy.
Was he a
very
good
sweet.
tipper? Did he tip you well?
He was. And
That is a horrible Gilbert Godfrey.
He had a little. What's sad is that he had a little baby and a young wife. So, but anyway, I was kind of like Jewish a little bit better because they only proselytize to their own people. I'm wild about, the kind of Baptist thing of proselytizing. But anyway, I live on a street with a very old Catholic church. I married an Italian guy, so I was kind of shoved into Catholic churches like crazy. But I love them. Like, I feel really at peace there. And I went through a long illness in my 30s that took out part of my life. And I would go in every day, like on my lunch hour to a church. I would find a church and, say thank you and that I'm still here. And how can I, move my life forward at this point after kind of losing everything. But then I was kind of nervous about going into a mass because I don't know how to do the whole Catholic thing. And, they have a lot of ritual and I thought, I don't want to look stupid. And then they started to close my church, like it wasn't open to the public as much. So I kind of got forced into going into mass last year. And I was going for like 7 or 8 months, and then they are closing the church. And the church is a 172 years old church and have buried, brothers and priests in the crypt. And I got very involved with the church because it's been on my block for 30 years that I've lived here, trying to save it from the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is in this very weird space now where there's tons of people going back to the Catholic Church, but it's very, very those kids want to go to traditional. My theory on that is that they want some guardrails, that there's too much, even the woke churches are there's so much you can do anything. And I think they're looking for structure and the rock, as the lady said before. So even though our church was thriving, really, in spite of the Catholic Church actively trying to close it down because they would like to sell it, we've been in a group for a while trying to save these churches, and we have a canonical lawyer who also goes around the world trying to save churches. The hard part of the really emotional part of that is that there's so many people who want to go back, and yet the Catholic Church seems dead set on selling off their churches. And it's not just our church. There will be another and another and another. They kind of join them and knock them down and sell them. And it's sad. I don't know how long I'll be involved in it. Probably, in trying to save it, we could be 10 years in that type of thing, trying to save it. But I feel very deeply, deeply moved to, I can't let it go, this church. And I'm not even Catholic. In other words, I haven't been joined to the Catholic Church necessarily. But anyway, I do think that movement to come back is kids looking for rules.
They're looking for rules.
They're looking for structure and meaning, and I think they are. We do these vigils every Friday night. We stand on the street, and the Spanish ladies pray. It's very, very deeply moving, and we pray for the church, and we try to tell people about what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. And I will stop and talk with people if they look at my sign and say, what is going on, and tell them this and that. And I'm stunned that they'll tell me, no, I go to church. And these are kids that could be going to nightclubs and brunch, and yet it's shocking. I've never seen that before. How many kids, at least not for Catholic, and it's usually Catholic, which is wild. But the other strange thing is that the Pope before, Francis, has sort of banned the Latin Mass.
Well, before we move on to the other thing.
But anyway,
before we move on to the other thing, I want to just I want to dig in on what you were saying as far as that search for a rock or for rules and structure.
Yeah.
And that's certainly an essential part of, I think, the benefits of religion. And I think that structure is something that we are naturally, there's an inner conflict that mankind has of a search for structure / rules and a search for feeling free of rules, because we don't, and that's part of the way that God structured our DNA, in the sense that there's, the notion of a hunger for sloth, or laziness, or freedom from restrictive covenants or obligations, are things that are I think that's kind of like a satanically inspired notion that's part of the test that mankind faces. But the interesting thing is that absence of structure, absence of rules is intuitively understood even by children, as a lack of love. Like if you hate your, this old phrase, spare the rod, hate the child, and it's not a matter of like, obviously some people, you always hear about the nightmare stories of someone who's like some crazy religious nutcase who like, who canes his kids or something like that. Those stories were far more prevalent, 7,500 years ago and going back earlier. But the levels of freedom to do whatever the heck you feel like, that people are like, oh, you see, I'm a good person. I'm very, I allow my kids to do whatever they want. And I'm always just very affirming of their feelings and so concerned for that, and I don't want to ever punish them. And I don't ever want them to feel as if they're anything less than the greatest human on earth. And I'm going to let them stay up to whatever hours they want and eat whatever they want and hang out with whoever they want and stay out to all hours of the night and give them as much freedom as they're craving, is actually that's a form of abandonment, that the child looks at it, that you don't care enough about me to protect me from these dangers of the world. You don't care enough about me. They sort of almost grow to resent that. And that's something that I think a lot of parents are facing today, where it's almost like they treat the kid as if the kid is a friend rather than a child. And let's hang out together.
Have you read?
What?
Right. Have you read The Coddling of the American Mind?
No.
I mean, was that
what I
think
just
you're
basically
absolutely
quoted?
Right. Yeah, more or less. I mean, that's somewhat of the premise of the book. It's also I think the guy is a therapist that's oh God, I forgot the kind of therapy this is, but it's basically like a more practical kind of doing things therapy rather than talk therapy. But yeah, he really lays that out, and what kids of our generation were like, allowed to go certain places, but then, also had rules. And I mean, to me, look, I had a long discussion with a girl in the pet store who's a young girl from Russia somewhere. And she actually is Catholic too, and very traditional. And she said, she said something interesting. She said there was a priest who said that Russian churches are too much of the cross of Christ, meaning the burdens and the heavy, and Americans are too much of the inclusiveness and in other words, one is very restrictive and one is very permissive, and if we could have crossed those more, it would have been better. But she described to me some of the other Catholic faiths who have embraced the woke stuff, and she was like, I walked out of there, I could not. Like, you can't walk into church in party outfits and do, the land acknowledgement. Like, and they are trying to remove a lot of that stuff from church, but I think, because I see it again and again, and I've heard other conservative people talk about this, Amber Duke, Michael Knowles, is that traditional Latin Mass and this very, what they would call trad Catholics, is coming back. And I do think you're right. I think that is the answer. I think part of it is the seeking of something higher, and the rules, or a way to live your life. Those other churches aren't giving that so much. They're just telling you everything's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate your feedback.
I appreciate
That's awesome.
it. Thank you.
Have a great night. Great job.
Lovely to talk to you. Good night.
Take care. So what do you think about what she said there as far as the structure element?
Yeah, I think so. I think that leans into what me and you have said earlier. Looking for structure and having structure in life really does ground someone and calms those nerves and, the things that you worry about day in and day out. So,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I think that she's making good points. Do you think that this is a novel time, or you think that I'm overstating that this was like,
No, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right.
All right. The number is 972-454-0703. I had to take off because I was sort of trying to hide. I knew that when I was shared the screen, in order to enable everyone to hear it, I would have to like sort of throw up my screen with the phone on there, which has everyone's like numbers to call in. And I sort of try to protect people's privacy by like not sharing that with the internet.
Discord.
I should.
You should get a Discord, and then you could just do a Discord call in.
I do have a Discord.
And you could just do a VC.
Or you think I don't have a Discord?
You should have just set that up, and then you could mute everybody that's
Call from.
It's not their turn to talk.
Wellesley.
So you think that like no, I don't like Discord. Okay, I don't like it. It's not
okay,
it's not
but
for me.
If
There's
you
all
wanted
these
to-
flashing lights and buttons. I get very easily.
As the guy fumbles with basically an internet rotary phone right now. Got you, Joe.
I'm not even kidding that I have a Discord. Like when I first started doing this channel, I actually set up a Discord. And I just it was just like one more thing I had to check on. People would expect me, they would message me, they would expect me to
get you a
answer.
good moderator. Yeah.
And I was just like, this is like, it's too much. I was like, this is too, I felt like I was spread too thin. I was trying to build myself on X at the time. I had like 1,000 people or 2,000 followers on X. I was like trying to build myself there. And I was like, I don't know how having a Discord is going to help my channel grow. So it just felt like I was wasting my time and spreading myself too thin. So
Discord can help. It helped me a little bit.
Did it?
So. Then I burned my Discord down and set up a private Discord.
Speaking of which, you guys all need to sub up to Sim. He's 20 people away. I know you're there, Wellesley. He was 20 people away from actually, like, you know, getting his
Super chats.
his super chats thing. And Wellesley, you got me echoing there in the background.
No, I know. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. So, yeah, he's 20 people away, and I definitely want to get him in. In fact, I don't know why I meant to put in the description for the show, and somehow
You didn't do that.
I did not.
We
do
are
that.
20 people away, though, Chad. Go sub. We talk about pop culture. We make fun of some people that are really bad in our community that I'm involved in. And we generally just have a lot of fun. And if you have topics you want us to cover, me and my friends, you are welcome to DM me at Ambient Aristotle. And we would love to cover them. I am going to be trying to cover that fat accepted levels of fat acceptance or whatever Friday. That'll be great. But we do all kinds of stuff over there. It's a wild show. I am a free speech absolutist, so I do cuss over there. So be careful, be prepared. And if you have any questions about what we do, like I said, you're more than welcome to DM me or just ask anything in the chat. You can do that. And we respond to our chat almost constantly through the show because y'all are a very big part of my show. Unlike Joe's. You know how Joe treats you guys. I'll come on over. I'll show you, you know. No, we also have a show on Rumble. It goes we stream to Rumble and to YouTube, but we are only 20 people away from getting memberships, where we're going to start doing private shows about specific topics and things like that. And so going over there, we're 20 people away. There's like 500, 600 of you in here.
I should probably sub up, right?
Yeah, you should. I mean, that'd be nice. Y'all can, you know, and if it's not your cup of tea,
Like,
I
Joe,
get that. You know, I understand, but if you would do that for me, that'd be wonderful. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the end of the year, and we have really made a big effort, and we're 20 people away from our first goal. And I'd appreciate it. I'd tell you thank you. Yes, it's FFS, F.F.S podcast. Go ahead and sub, like, watch some of our videos. And like I said,
he's at 490 right now. So we just need 10 more.
Get to that.
Yeah,
we can get to that. We're
I
actually
don't
doing
want
a
to take any
giveaway.
more calls. I don't want to take any more calls till I hit 500. That's it. I'm going to keep refreshing this. I know Wellesley's on hold. Wellesley's going to be stuck on hold here until we get to 500.
Squirrels. And that's he's dead. Jim 66. That is the fun of the show. Nobody knows what FFS means. We just let you figure it out, whatever you want to call it.
556. So
let's
yeah. We're 492. We're getting him to 500. We're doing this. We're doing this right now.
We just 8 people. Just click that little sub button.
Just need
and
8 people.
It'd be wonderful. I would. Yeah, it'd be amazing.
This is something Robert Gouveia did for me when I was nearing a milestone, and he basically stopped his show and said, "We're not going anywhere until Joe crosses that threshold."
But no,
He
we
did.
do a lot of
He
fun
did.
stuff. We're also starting to delve into politics with some guys who are very some guys aren't very well versed in politics, and it's been a lot of fun to get their takes on the stuff. We started with the Charlie Kirk situation, and it was actually very exciting to hear people get activated in politics that never were before. So we have a lot of fun over there. Just 7 more people. That's all
7
we
more
need.
people.
That's what we need. 7 more
Six-
people just have to go hit
6
sub.
more people. 6 more
And
people.
6
Let's
more
do
people
this.
go hit sub, and then it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. We'll have a fun time. Everybody loves our show. They really do.
This
It's
guy
actually
works
a
his
lot
tail
of fun.
off. The opportunity just to be able to get paid. You're not going to have to pay him any money.
That's it.
If you don't want
No.
to. It's just you're creating
You
an
don't have
opportunity that YouTube won't let him get paid unless he gets 5 more subs. So
That's it. 5. And then
it's
we
a
can
and you have no idea what a great feeling it is when you get monetized. Like you feel as if you've arrived. I remember when I got monetized, it was like a really really big deal. And yeah, we just need 5 more people. So I don't care. You got to build new accounts. Wellesley's stuck here.
Go for it.
Wellesley, you
I
still
don't
there?
care at all.
Yeah, I'm
You
still
see,
here.
poor Wellesley. Do it for Wellesley. Forget about sin. Do it for Wellesley. For crying out loud.
4 people away. We are
I'm
4
stuck in the
people,
mud.
and then I get
4
to
people
hit
away.
the button to apply for monetization and
Yes.
memberships, which is what I'm
Yes.
really excited about is the membership stuff, because we've got a lot of people that've been there since the beginning that are very loyal. That
I promised Sin before we started the show that we were going to get him across this threshold tonight. So, and $4.99. Just need one more.
One person.
Fine,
One more
I'll
person.
Fine, I'll subscribe.
We are going to be giving a hat away. We've got a guy on our panel that is a comic book
501. We
producer.
did it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Y'all are the best.
Congratulations.
You're wonderful. So we will be giving away a Make Lightbringer Great Again
That's
hat,
awesome.
which is a spoof of a MAGA hat for a comic book that we just launched. Or we just closed out last week. So
All right, stop talking.
whoever's in the chat Friday, I will put your names on a wheel, and then Monday we'll spin that wheel. See who gets the hat.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. No, I felt guilty that we didn't take care of it. We didn't get you across that threshold long ago.
You're
So I'm
fine,
glad.
Joe. I just love being here. I
Yeah.
get to use my brain for once instead of yelling at people, making jokes.
There you go. There you go. Wellesley, what's on your mind?
Yes.
Why do you think people are coming back to religion?
So I think it basically what you guys were saying, I think what is true. I think there's a sense of chaos, right, in our society right now and in the world. It's chaotic. And I think we have a animal instinct of fight or flight. That's animal side. And then we have our intellectual side, or the side that looks at things, and we're constantly trying to figure out what we should do in these different situations when we see chaos. So I think that's what's causing us to search. What's causing people to search is that they're trying to, like you guys are saying, like they're trying to look for the answer to how to deal with the chaotic situation.
Because of the fight or flight thing?
Yeah, I think we innately, if you look at us without, like just animal based, animals will attack or they'll run. An animal doesn't do an in between.
So which is this, fighting or flighting? Like what is? That's what I'm a little confused about.
I think I think that there's a third option, and that's standing and just, holding your ground, so to speak. And I think that what people are trying to do is figure out what the option they should do. And that's found in religion. So like if you anchor yourself down, like you're saying, on a rock, that's just standing there and just figuring out the world and trying to find answers for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the example would be when we saw the reaction to Charlie Kirk. All those people that did all the ugly stuff, they had a mentality of fighting, and that's their instinct, is to fight, and that's why they were celebrating, because they saw it as a victory, because they're seeing chaos that they don't like, and their reaction is to fight. So we see this with Antifa. We see this with a lot of stuff that's going on. A lot of it is fighting, and and then some people will run. So we see that in the election. They just don't do anything. People just don't vote. They don't participate. It's like I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm going to run away. I'm going to escape. And the people that are trying to find meaning in life, they dive into religion and trying to figure it all out.
So I'm gonna ask you a question that a cynical person would ask. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm asking you and Sin, and not because that's his name, but I'll have you answer first, Wellesley, and since you can't hear him, I'll let you go after you give me your response to this, and then I'll have him weigh in. Okay. A cynical person would say that much as the Republican right would traditionally try and pitch votes towards the Christian conservatives and try and play into their religion as a way of rallying the troops. Would someone, a cynic might say that the reason there's this push to turn back towards religion is a way of trying to rally MAGA in an area that they feel is a good area for them to try and tap into to grow numbers, and that's the reason why there's this recent resurgence, particularly with respect to the Christian element, and that it's the people who are preaching it don't genuinely believe it. It's a grift in order to try and build their popularity in a base that they feel is already well established, and that if they basically claim that this is what they're standing for, that they'll be able to create they'll be able to use Christians in order to grow themselves. So what, if any, what response, if any, would you have to that? I don't believe this. I think it's a poppycock thing, but I'm wondering what perspectives you have on that.
So I see two things. First answer would be, if it's, so let's say Christianity, the individual needs to have a need for it. Like, there's got to be a reason for them to want Judaism or Christianity or whatever. So the individual is still involved, even though, like, let's say the Republican Party is like promoting it or whatever, that one individual still needs to have the need. What I do see, though, is that, let's say the Republican Party is doing this, like doing the promoting of Christianity or whatever, if they can cause a sense of the need, so cause chaos or cause something, with rhetoric or whatever to make you feel like you need it, then I could see that as a manipulation and something that I could see that. I really can, but I don't think that that's what's going on.
Okay, cool. Thank you, brother. That was awesome.
All right.
That was a great take.
Yep.
Have a good night, brother.
All right, you too. Bye.
So, what are your thoughts?
I think if that's their intentions, is to tap into the Christian market for the MAGA movement or conservative movement, well, that market's already been tapped a long time ago. What I truly think that a lot of the conservatives are doing is doing cultural Christianity. Like I said earlier, they're saying the right phrases, wearing the right clothes, doing the right things. I don't think a lot of them are men of God. And I do think they may be waving that flag or whatever you want to say, wearing that suit in a way
As a
to
grift?
keep it, as a grift, because that market is already tapped for MAGA. So it's a fruitless effort, but I do know that I feel like they're doing it as a grift to keep that market. But where is a Christian going to go in politics other than conservatism?
Right. And I think that that's a great point that I think Wellesley was getting at was, well, I think that's they need to have a need, right? I think you're in ways, you both are addressing two different sides of it's the same coin, but you're looking at two different sides of it. Meaning, you're saying, you're making the point, I think both of you are correct, that if that's the extent that people are going to be turned to MAGA because of Christianity, well, they were here 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that's not a new thing. They've been here.
No.
They've been here for the most part. Some of them might have rejected Trump a long time ago because they didn't like some of the things he said, or they thought he was too vulgar, or whatever. I've heard some of my own fans tell me that they know that the ultra religious Christians hated Trump when he first was elected in 2016, 2017. But I do think that given everything that's happened, I think that maybe that over the last couple of years, maybe the last year or so, maybe there has been some of them who have come back to Trump, perhaps a messianic type of thing from the near-miss assassination attempt, perhaps Charlie Kirk. Those are factors which I think awaken people toward, like you brought that up specifically, that does awaken people, and that does invite more grifting. It does, but if someone's grifting, there has to be, as Wellesley was saying, there has to be a market for it. If no one's grifting and trying to sell and trying to sell chum as a dessert. Because there's no market for people who want to eat chum as dessert. So you're grifting in something that only is working to swell numbers because of the terrible state of the world. So that's why there is such a large market for it today. To the extent there are potentially any grifters out there, the reason there are so many of them is because there are so many young men who feel abandoned by their culture and by society, and rejected and hated and resented, particularly, young white men. The same reason that they may be turning to Nick Fuentes, who's, trying to show them love and whatever, but they're also turning to other healthier sources, hopefully, who are giving them some guidance. But I do think it awakens a feeling. They turn to Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, which is a much, much healthier perspective. And, coming back to foundational values and Christian values, which are pretty much synonymous. And and that they basically are feeling that need because they've been battered by our society. So, I think that that doesn't mean there are no grifters, but the reason there would be a basis for grifters to start coming into the fold and coming here to try and pitch themselves as someone who's spreading the word of Jesus or whatever, is because they I don't mean that disrespectfully.
There is a need for it.
It's because there's such a big market for it.
Yeah, agreed.
Call from Rockham.
Yo.
Hi, Joe. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Thank God.
You need to introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Rami.
There you go. Rami from Detroit.
Well, technically the suburbs, but
we call him Ronnie from the hood.
Anyhow, regarding a general religious revival, I hate the argument from authority, but religious studies happen to be my college major. I've watched, I don't know if you've seen them, but have you seen the interviews Josh Hammer has done lately?
Josh Hammer? No.
Yeah. Okay. He's the editor at Newsweek, and he's been addressing some. He was accused by Candace of killing Charlie, so he's been doing a circuit.
And poor
And
Charlie's got so many killers between Josh Hammer and Bibi Netanyahu and Trump and Tyler Robinson. So many killers that
platforming Tucker apparently, and then the Bill Ackman meeting in the Hamptons.
Yeah, I heard about that's the Candace Owens take on it. Yeah.
No, but and I just wonder how many of those machers are putting money into spiritual outreach to Jewish students on campus who have been under siege for the last 2 years.
What are you saying, to try and proselytize to Jewish students? Try and missionize Jewish students, you're saying?
I'm saying that there has to be more than just Chabad and Hillel Foundation.
Are you saying for Jewish students to have an outreach that they can go to?
Well, an outreach to them more than anything else. I'm not necessarily saying it has to be something like Turning Point, but it seems to me that it's a need that's not being met.
Why do you think that Hillel is insufficient? And those of you who are unaware, Hillel is basically is an organization.
It's wonderful if you want to have kosher food.
But you're saying I don't know much about what Hillel does beyond
the
fact that
Hillel
they're.
Hillel number one isn't.
I need to explain to
necessarily
everyone. Ronnie, give me a second. I just need to explain to the audience they understand.
I can explain quickly. To the Catholics in the audience, B'nai B'rith Hillel Foundation is like the Newman Foundation on campus.
And to those who are not Catholic, can you explain to them what Hillel is?
It's I don't know what the Protestant equivalent is, but it's a nationwide.
To people who never set foot in college, explain to them what
it's
it is.
It's a nationwide organization that services Jewish students on campus that grew out of the B'nai B'rith organization.
Okay, fine.
That's adequate. And they have buildings and personnel on most major campuses in the United States, as far as I know. But it's not spiritually oriented. And for all that I love Chabadnikim, they're not going to do the job. I don't know whether they have the resources to do the job that needs to be done. But Jewish kids need that kind of support on campus, particularly over what's gone on in the last couple of years. And I know that in general, I haven't seen any statistics here in the United States, but I know in Israel, there's been a lot of people that formerly weren't observant at all have started doing certain mitzvot. So
started doing what?
Certain mitzvot, certain commandments.
Oh, right.
And like wearing wearing fringes.
Yeah.
Praying.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, I'm not a billionaire. I don't have a solution.
I don't know enough. I see someone here saying that Chabad. I saw someone here who said that Chabad is great. Hillel is too secular. I don't know enough about. Yeah, and Chabad is if you're not familiar with Chabad is a group which. Cindy, have you ever heard of Chabad before? He's not there. So Chabad is basically a sect of Judaism. It's a Hasidic sect known as Lubavitch. And I've talked to you all about how the difference between Misnagid, which is opposed to the opposite of Hasidic. So I'm from the Misnagid. Hasidic Jews are the ones who have longer side locks because they won't use any form of shaver, and they tend to dress in the long black coat. So there are many different sects, SECT, of Hasidism. One of the largest, if not the largest, is Lubavitch. It's a sect of Hasidic Jew. They have an organization called Chabad, which basically will set up across the country. They're practically like Starbucks, the way they're everywhere, across the country to try and create some sort of Jewish outlet for Jews in the region or people who are visiting various communities. And they basically are trying to bring Jews back to the faith. Now, as I explained earlier, even amongst Orthodox Jews, there's different types of natures and flavors of what Orthodox Jewry is, and their flavor is unique. And it's certainly, I would say, they're certainly religious Jews, and they're very excited about messianic type of conversations, and they will basically go around urging Jews to perform certain mitzvot, certain commandments, like putting on phylacteries, which we call tefillin, or tzitzit, which is like the fringes that we wear, and urging them to do that. It's not the type of way that's a unique style of trying to bring Jews back to the faith, which most non-Lubavitch would just try to talk to people about God and explain to them about the beauty of Torah, rather than say, hey, just do this thing right now, which you don't even understand really what you're doing, and that makes you a good person. They do have success. They do have success, though, with all
God bless them.
And I wish nothing but a
them.
continued success to them. They're good people. So,
you know,
but you're saying You're saying they're not enough, and Hillel is too secular. And so, if you have a billion,
and there have been efforts. My own rabbi, who now lives in Israel, for a while had a facility up in the Ann Arbor campus at U of M, and but it was just one organization that had whatever backers that they had there.
Why is everyone getting so excited about chum? I use the word chum. I was thinking of fish bait. I was thinking literally of the movie Jaws when they were throwing chum out onto the water. And I was thinking that is probably something that would be very disgusting to eat for dessert. That was my point. So that's why I used the word. I used the same word you all knew what I was saying. I don't know why this has gotten the chat here to go nuts. They're all sitting here just because I used a word that I haven't ever used on the channel before, and everyone's just I don't even know how this got started, but yeah. All right. Anyway.
Well, in any case, be well. And,
brother, I appreciate the phone call. You're probably correct. So what do you want to give in 30 seconds left? Why do you think that there's this religious reawakening happening?
Well, it's number one, it periodically happens in America. There have been a number of various revivals in American history, going back to soon after even before the revolution. Hopefully it's for good reasons. Hopefully it's because people are hopeful. It could be because people are worried about stuff. Could be pieces breaking out all over. I don't know, but the election in New York, I don't want to say is freaking me out, but maybe we should repeal the 19th.
Good night, Ronnie. You're not going to do better than that. I'm hanging up. You're not going to do better than that.
You know what? Based. Okay.
Yes.
Based in chum
it
pill.
is. Yes, it is. That was awesome. I'm like, I don't even want to take another call. I'm not gonna beat that. We're not beating that.
That was it. That was the way to end it for the night.
Ronnie, you totally just landed.
You
that
nailed
was
it.
Yeah,
good job, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
Oh man.
So I thank you all for joining me. In case you didn't know, he's from FFS Podcast. That's my friend Cynical over here. And
thank you.
Yeah, I think that was just, it came out of nowhere.
It was beautiful.
I wasn't expecting a conversation of religion to end there, but how are we going to possibly top that? Anyway, we're going to call this, I'm going to just rename this stream Chum 19.
You should do it. In Chum 19. It's great, man.
And Chum 19. Oh, I forgot to close my phone. No, you're not. It's not going to, I can't take a call now. No.
Chat, thank y'all so much for subbing to my channel. I truly, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And I'll be back next week as long as Joe answers my call. So we'll be here.
So
We'll
I
have
just
fun.
want to remind you all, in case you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit like and subscribe. It's really, really important. Drop a comment afterwards, and when and while you're doing that, if you're standing by a barbecue and you're watching this right now, the lab meat is not for you. It's for they them. You just say, dude, it's for yous. It's for yous all. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Not you, because it's y'all. It's plural. It's they them. It's not for you. And do not eat the bugs. Just don't do it. Don't do it. You don't want to. Godspeed.